And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank you for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, the Milwaukee judge trying to get the illegal alien out of the courtroom before ICE agents got to him. Hey, throw that lady in the penitentiary, gulag, whatever you got. Hey, matter of fact, if we could, I'm not saying we should, but if we could, maybe El Salvador, hey, maybe her and the human trafficker wife beater could be cellies. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Trump versus South Africa. This is a pretty contentious issue. Oh, but I got the receipts. One thing about the YouTubes, find someone with more evidence, more receipts from black, white, Puerto Rican, candy stripe. Find them, you're not going to find them. More than me. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, we have the Jewish Museum shooting to talk about. And as we speak about that, I'll have a video that kind of ties into it. Some of the individuals on TikToks and whatnot talking about this is a good thing. This is something that should happen. And this kind of issue promoting straight up anti-Semitism, promoting hatred of anybody, regardless of what their color is. This is a thing that they feared coming from the TikTok, which is why they were trying to ban it. Are they going to ban it? Whatever happened to that? We'll talk about that a little bit more. Plus, I got quite a few videos, quite a few things that I've not discussed yet, all on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And again, thank y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing thus far, give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Happy Memorial Day weekend. All right, hopefully you guys are somewhere safe. You're not on the road acting the fool, drinking and driving. Okay, big activities, Coors Light, Bud Light, Bud Light all on the front seat of the vehicle, no seatbelt. Please be safe out there. Enjoy the barbecue, enjoy the hamburgers, hot dogs, the pork and beans, whatever you're eating. Enjoy yourself, have a good time. And shout out to the youngins. You guys got off of school in certain parts of the country. That's good for me. A little teeny bit less traffic on the road. So shout out to the kids. Enjoy yourself, be outside, and have a good time on the weekend and throughout the summer. But we got a whole lot going on. There's a whole lot happening. Shout out to y'all coming from all over the country. Okay, we got Texas, and then international people as well. Shout out to all you individuals. I appreciate y'all. But we got a whole lot happening. I mean, we got some crazy videos. And I got a segment I got something to do where I'm going to start showing some real estate across the country and also some jobs people can do. People are talking about there's a lack of jobs. I don't understand that. Like, it just depends on what you want to do. You have to shift with the nation, because back when I was younger and I was a graphic designer for a long time, for the first part of my whole career, if you will, it was simple just to do a club flyer, just a basic little flyer, 4x6, put that on your windshield when you're going to the mall. Actually, I would not put it on your windshield, but I'd be the one that print it, design it, ship it, whatever. But then I realized, okay, I got to do more than that because technology is changing. Instagram comes along, social media in general takes over. People need less flyers because they're not going out as much to the stores. They could just go on their phone and see all their friends and see things they want to do. So they could just look at it that way. So my flyer business kind of died down. Now I got to go to where everybody's at. I got to go here. I got to go to the phone. I can't keep doing the old job thinking that the economy is bad. Well, maybe I have just not shifted. You got to shift. So then once the flyers started to dwindle, I went more to the web, did well with that. And I was going to just be blue collar and be a firefighter when I was like in my early 30s. But then YouTube took off out of nowhere. Now with YouTube, things are shifting as well. You got to think about different kind of formats. You got to think about the no attention span, make shorter videos. You got to shift. If you have a job that has been there for a very long time, but you got AI that comes in, that might want to take over. You have technology in general, aside from AI that comes in. What are we going to do to shift? There is a bunch of openings when you're talking about doing things with your hands. And to all the young people that's watching me, please, I beg you, male or female, get into industries that a robot or a machine cannot quite do yet. Okay, I don't think a robot can be a master carpenter quite yet. I mean, maybe a robot could cut boards down. Maybe it can plane the wood, cut boards down, automated things that are just about numbers. But then when it comes to craftsmanship, creativity, beauty, art, machines can't quite do that. And if they were able to do that, then we cease to exist. But nurses, for the young ladies especially, a machine is not going to be able to be a nurse. Not quite yet. That is going to be a stable industry to get in. It makes sense. Get into the medical field in some kind of way. People are always going to need medical attention. Always. From birth to death and everywhere in between. Get into industries that are in demand. If you're in a low demand industry, it's just, you're going to have to shift at a certain point. It is what it is. You know, so that's my advice, especially to the young people out there. For it to be, I don't want to say future proof, but for it to be stable for you for an extended period of time, get into industries that are done with your hands. And I ain't talking about typing on the keyboard. That's fine, because I do that as well to a certain extent, but use your hands. Have a career that a machine cannot take over. Now, if you're a little bit older, I know it's rough, but what are we going to do? Times change, and you got to be able to move with it. That's just the best thing that I would say. Okay, shift and shout. That's funny. Oh yeah, and AI. Listen, AI is crazy. I saw a lot of stuff in AI. One thing I saw was like a newscast. So they could put a newscaster right there, and it'd be a whole AI. In South Korea, they pretty much embraced it. They have AI influencers in South Korea. You go on your Instagram, and you think it's a human being that's an influencer. Really, it's a whole AI. The entire account is AI, and they have like 1 million plus followers. So but the influencer does not have a lot of your personality. They can't duplicate that. That's the difference. If you're an influencer who is not showing your face, who is not showing personality, you could be easily replaced. So a newscaster, they just kind of sitting there and they're reading blank. On tonight's evening news, we have, it's real blank. There's no personality at all. That can easily be replaced by a robot, by AI, by something that's artificial. But if you are a unique person, unpredictable, they can't replace that. They can't replace it. We're talking about being an influencer. But again, to the young people, I say work with your hands. Find something you can do in which you can make something for someone and make things for yourself. And if you want to be an influencer as a little side gig, that's fine. But focus as a career to be able to make money, to make a living, to raise children, work with these. And then as you get older, invest your money, invest in the real estate. But I don't want to get too deep into that. I'm just saying, young folks especially work with your hands. That's the main thing. J Flow says NPC reporters. Oh yeah, I saw a whole video. Matter of fact, I think I might put it up. It was a whole video in which it was nothing but AI, the whole thing. And it's crazy, but that's just kind of the world in which we live. Oh yeah, and I don't even want to get into the OF and all of that. Hey, really what's going to happen with OF, that website, I don't want to say, the inappropriate website, they're going to end up banning that. They're going to ban that pretty soon. That's going to happen, because what's going to happen is you're going to get people that get attacked on. They're going to ban it eventually, or they're going to try to ban it, but I don't know. That cat might be out of the bag at this point. I don't see them banning it. Do y'all think they'd be able to ban some of these websites, some of these inappropriate websites? Are they really going to be able to do it? I don't know. That's going to be kind of a challenge. Okay, Observer says, don't forget to stock up on dehydrated water. Oh, absolutely. Zuni Warrior says, has ABL come out in support of the Boer genocide? I don't support no genocide. Ain't no genocide. Ain't no genocide. People get targeted, but people get targeted in the whole nation. And people say, well, this is different because they targeted because of race. Are they? Are they? Even if they were, do you think that white is the only other race in South Africa aside from black? And then we talking about race. What are we talking about? We talking about ethnicity or just skin color? Because it ain't the same thing. And if you think it is, are you racist? Because an Afrikaner is not the same thing as Elon Musk, who is not an Afrikaner. He's white from South Africa, but he's British, not an Afrikaner. Those are the Dutch. That ain't the same people. In South Africa, you have tribal conflict as well. You got the Xhosa, the Zulu, the Khoisan. The Khoisan are the native to South Africa. Other people came from Central Africa later. The Zulu, all of them, they came from like Botswana, Zambia, Central African Republic. They came after. So now you got tribal conflict among blacks. You have different whites, and you have class differences. You got poor white trash, the same way you have here. You have the rich ruling elite whites. You got middle class whites. You got whites over here, whites over there. Plus, South Africa is very big. You're talking about Cape Town versus Joburg. How far is that apart? How far is that apart? To put South Africa in one big lump is like putting the USA in one big lump. The issues that whites in Alabama are facing are not the same as whites in Los Angeles, California. And these are different kind of people. Are you going to compare a white person in Mobile, Alabama to a white person in Santa Barbara, California? That's what y'all do when you talk about these different countries in Africa. And you don't realize how big they are. You don't realize how diverse it is and how it's not heavily populated. South Africa is more akin to Australia. The difference is that South Africa is in the African continent with people who are not going to go anywhere with very high birth rates. So it is what it is, man. I think what's happening with that, people just don't know a lot about South Africa. They don't know a lot about anywhere south of the equator. What do you know about Lesotho, for example? Do you know what that is? Do you know where Swaziland is? Do you know anything about that particular country? Do you know, can you name me 20 African countries right now with no Google? Can you do it? I don't think most people can. We've seen these videos on the internet. We've seen them where they'll ask someone a simple question. How many states in the country? They'll say 100 states in the country. They'll say it's 13 states in the country, referring to the 13 original colonies. They'll say it's 13 states in the country. Barack Obama got on TV and said 57 states. Barack Obama, a president. Most Americans don't know anything. Most people don't know anything. Okay, we know more than the average person here, but your average normie just walking and talking doesn't know anything. So it's easy for Trump to be giving information that's not 100% correct. The same way he was giving information about the vaccines and the lockdowns. That was also incorrect. So it is what it is. All right. Hold on. Swaziland is a country, or Eswatini. Come on now. Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me. I'm actually a little bit more, you know what I mean? I'm a little teeny bit more informed than the average person. All right, hold on. Rex Rocker says, did you know, ABL, that Shaka Zulu, the king, was murdered by his own men because he tried to make peace? I mean, hey, things happen, right? Things happen. Sometimes you overthrow the king. It is what it is, you know? Hold on. Hubbalone says, I learned everything I know about South Africa from the District 9 movie. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Shout out to Neil Bunclop. That was a good movie, though. I liked District 9. Some of the politics South Africa were in there. Maybe like, I guess, Joburg, I suppose. You had a Nigerian selling drugs and stuff like this. That was a little teeny bit accurate, but that's funny that you learn a lot from District 9. Hilarious. Okay. Let me see. Yeah, playing the YouTube videos, HP. I was like, nah, man, it was a misstep. And you know what? It's not that I don't like Trump if I say that he did one thing wrong. I don't know, man. It's weird. I think I am the kind of person where I can say, you know what? I don't like everything that you did, nor do I like that, but I can still agree with you on most things. I'm not going to be trying to attack you because I don't agree with you on that particular issue. Like, I could just say, you know what? I didn't like that, and I didn't like that, but I like 95% of everything else you do. And for me, that's enough. That's enough to vote for somebody. If they lay out policies and they do things And 95% of the time I agree with it and I'm on board. As long as that 5% ain't nothing too crazy. Like, okay, if I agree with everything he does and then he says, okay, let's nuke Russia, I'll be like, whoa, wait a minute. Let's not, that'd be a pretty big thing. But the whole YouTube video in the White House, that's not really that big of a deal in my humble opinion. I just don't agree. James Ellis says Terminator was set in 2029. Well, hey, they already got AI and they got the robot, so they're trying to figure it out. When did I become a liberal? What about what I said is liberal? Just because I disagree with you don't make me a liberal. That's just a dumb way to think, man. You got to get a better IQ in your brain. Get a better IQ in your brain. That's all. Okay, so let me see. Cardinal says you don't need to argue every single thing about someone. Yeah, exactly. You don't got to agree with everybody on everything. Exactly. That's all. Shout out to Djibouti over there in East Africa, over there by Eritrea, Somalia, all of that. Carolyn says, I don't know anything, but I do watch a lot of documentaries. Well, I mean, I'm not saying you don't know anything, but what do you know? Most Americans are not us. We are a little bit more intelligent. We're sitting here talking about politics on a Saturday night. We're a little bit more intelligent than the average person. The average normie right now is knee deep into a fentanyl. I don't know. They're doing other things. Hold on. Apu says, R.I.P. Val Kilmer, favorite Val Kilmer movie, Batman Forever. I'm gonna read that. I am going to read that. But before I get too deep into the comments, shout out to you guys, as always, for being the best audience anywhere on these internets. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Also, please go to hold on, I skipped my whole thing. Shout out to you guys for being the best sponsors of the show, as always. But also, shout out to my other sponsors. There we go. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will always be in the box, or just go to patriotpost.us in your browser. Tell them that ABL sent you. Also, please go to the merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. Also, please go to the regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and there you'll be able to find articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, I have sources from the left, from the right, from the center, from the Democratic, Republican, politically agnostic, local, national, international, South Africa, Zimbabwe, etc. All those links will be in the description section of each article on the front page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. Also, please go to the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com/contact-us. There you'll be able to find my email address, my snail mail address, my UPS box, of course, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X, TikTok. All those links are right there on the contact page of the website, anthonyblogan.com. And if you're wondering if you're conversing with me on the interwebs or not, just cross-reference method of communication. If the email is not contact@anthonyblogan.com, it's not me. If you're getting the 5,000-digit WhatsApp number, if you're getting the janky email, something like that, talking about send me gift card today. If you get something like that, it's not me. Please don't get scammed. It's 2025. You shouldn't be doing that anymore. I shouldn't be getting any more of your emails talking about, I thought I could trust you, ABL. You could trust me, but you can't trust my man over in Lagos, Nigeria, or my man over in Transnistria, Eastern Europe somewhere. Some dude with chest hair all out of his silk shirt. You can't trust him because you're talking to that guy on the interwebs in the YouTube comment section talking about get rich quick. You ain't talking to ABL. All right. So please, please, please protect yourself. Don't get scammed no more. Don't get scammed no more 2025. All righty. But we got a whole lot going on. Shout out to you guys. I'm reading some of the comments before I get to the video. Hold on. My playoff picks. I don't know, man. It's looking kind of weird. I feel like it's getting more like WWE. I don't know. Sports. I like sports, but sometimes I feel like they just do little things to spice it up. And my thing is, all right, either we actually playing sports Either it's actually real or we're not. Like, I don't really know what's going on. But yeah, that's pretty much my take on it. I watch some of the games, but I can't sit and really watch too much. I can't really sit and watch too much TV, movies, TV, all of that, man. It's just kind of uninspired. I'm not really feeling it. Where's the 90s energy? We need to get that back. We need to get back to, I don't know, man. Maybe we need more dysfunctional households. I don't know what's going on, man. Maybe less drugs, keeping us sedated. I don't know what's really cracking, but we got to do something else. Hold on. Hey, shout out to you, Brad. I got you, man. About the books behind me. Yeah, Rush, because that's my hero right there, Rush Limbaugh. Okay. I got Brandon Tatum book back there as well. I think I got Mike Lindell. I got Rush Limbaugh. Of course, I got Animal Farm. That's a really important book for anybody to read. Atlas Shrugged, Iran. I got a lot of books back there. And that's just on the top. I also got books right behind this microphone. Hold on. I don't want to screech your ears too much, but I got books right there. I got books everywhere. When I was a kid, I had a big bookshelf that was always filled with books. Fiction, nonfiction, Globe, encyclopedia, whatever. I got all of that stuff. So I'm still kind of the same way today. And I got other books in my living room, in my like TV little area. Yeah, I got books in there as well. I got a lot of books I bought from friends and they signed them. So a lot of these are just kind of like, it's like my version of a football helmet. If you go into a former NFL player's house, he's going to have helmets of his teammates and friends and colleagues. I got books with friends and colleagues that have signed them. All right. So yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for rocking and rolling. All right. Hey, Tony B. Tony B says, hi, Anthony. You fell off my YouTube feed for months. I wonder what was up. Hope all is well. Hey, man, I'm glad you are still hanging in there, man. YouTube, I don't know. YouTube is different. I think they're trying to like keep me at a certain, I don't know. YouTube is funny. And what I'm seeing right now is interesting that I'm getting just as many views on Facebook as I'm getting on YouTube. That's funny. And I got a lot less followers, but it's still the same level of interest. That's interesting. It's encouraging to a certain extent. Little Urkel, I was trying to be Urkel. That was my goal, but I ain't had no suspenders or nothing like that. But when I was a kid, man, like reading and becoming educated was something that a lot of kids wanted to do in the hood because we knew this was an exit strategy. We're not just trying to be poor and do nothing with our lives, but some people don't really care. They'll just stay at that low level. I was like, nah, man, I'm gonna get up out of here. I'll make it happen. I will make it happen. Hold on. Enigmatic says YouTube shadow bans also. I have to search for ABL videos. Yeah, they will. But they also want to show you things that are newer, some of the younger guys, and also like some of the different type of, I don't know. YouTube's weird. But I don't got no complaints. It's just different. It is different. Yeah, Urkel became suave. Yeah. Stefan, that was the funniest show in the world. I didn't really like that show as a kid because I thought it was kind of like unrealistic. I thought Family Matters was corny and Cosby's show was a little bit better, but it was still kind of unrealistic. But Family Matters to me felt like a white version of a black show. I was like, it was cool to watch, but it was kind of cheesy. It was like watching one of them 90s movies. I don't know. Like it felt like you could just take that same theme and put a white family there and it'd just make the same sense. It didn't really feel authentic. Like, and I enjoyed white shows like Married with Children. Loved it. My favorite, Al Bundy. Matter of fact, I got an Al Bundy video a little bit later. It'll make sense. But before we get to Al Bundy, all that kind of stuff, let's get to a few clips here. Now, remember the last show where I was showing this young lady talking like an alternate universe Greta Thunberg, a Thanos snap Greta Thunberg. Anyway, I stopped playing the clip because I'm like, all right, is she a preacher? What's going on? Why do we have female preachers? I don't really get it. And why do I see Protestants doing this? Is that a Protestant thing? I ain't trying to start no beef. Shout out to the Irish and the British. I ain't trying to start no beef. I'm just asking, is it a Protestant thing where they have these female preachers, where they got these wokesters talking? I don't really know, but let's check it out.
What a gift to be here for who we are, this queering of the church. And now I'd like to invite Gwen forward to read our open and affirming statement.
Oh, what in the world is this? Is this the dude what's your man name? This is he looks like not Jerry Nadler, but the other guy. Rick, what's his name? Oh, Rachel Levine, aka Rick, who played football with the other guy, Mark Milley.
As an open and affirming congregation, CUCC welcomes all individuals, lesbian, gay, bisexual, heterosexual, queer, questioning, cisgender, asexual, pansexual, transgender, intersex, binary, non-binary, gender fluid, gender queer, bigender, grayscale, cross-dressers, third gender, and sexual and gender identities yet to be known, named, or belonging to other cultures.
Okay, all right. I did not expect this part. I thought it was going to be just her up there talking, and I knew, okay, we got a female preacher with the LGBT. There's going to be something. I did not expect this man to come out here with a pink T-shirt on and fat, talking about something. I'm a woman with long hair. It's like, all right, bro, like that don't make you a woman. You looking like Danny DeVito. But anyway, the list of genders was crazy. Grayscale, is that a gender? And then he said, this is for future genders yet to be discovered. Are we discovering new genders? Is it like discovering new species of frogs and beetles and crickets and stuff like this? Are we going to discover like a new bacteria on Mars? A new element on the periodic table? Is that how we going to discover a gender? Because last I checked, listen. Last I checked, we already didn't discover all the genders there are. Okay? Like we're not going to discover a brand new color. We know all the colors. We're not going to discover a new sun out of no, like the sun is right there. We know what it is. Okay, we got two genders, male, female, boy, girl. That's it. Man, woman. Oh my goodness. Hey, nah, you can't just discover a gender. My question is, how do you discover a gender? Like you're going to be on a hike somewhere. You scaling up a mountain and you hitting a soft spot of the rock, and all of a sudden you get a discovery. Look what we found right here. Not a brand new rare earth mineral, not a new periodic table element. Nah, we have a brand new gender right here inside of the mountain. That's not how that works. But some people think that it's like that. Now, this person, hey, you know what? Maybe I don't know what gender this person has discovered in their life, but they or he or she, whatever, says they cannot find a job in Tennessee as a transformer. Let's watch.
Hey, nobody told me it was going to be impossible to find a job in Tennessee if I was trans, like at all. I've been applying for a year with my trans pronouns and trans name and everything in between. And no one told me that I was never going to get a fucking interview here because I have it in my resume. I took it out of my resume. I got an interview the next day. I'm working a new job that I've been working for like 2 weeks now as male me because I'm too scared to tell them. What the fuck? It's like I've been fine. Every other state I've lived in, even Ohio, I've been fine. But as soon as I moved down here, and God forbid I have diversity in any part of my resume, I can't find a fucking job.
Pause. So you heard that at the end, and I'm sorry for the cussing. You know how they talk. You know, they can't speak without cursing. But anyway, diversity. So is that what it's all about? Rather than being a straight white male, I guess. I don't know. I'm assuming this is a male because, listen, we got filters, we got AI, we got puberty blockers at 5 years old. I don't know what's going on no more. I assume based on your chin shape and your voice and your head shape that you're a male. But I could be wrong because y'all might get some kind of augmentation that changes that. But anyway, bro, if you have transgender in your resume, listen, if I'm a hiring manager and I see transgender in somebody's resume, I'm throwing it right in the trash. The same kind of way if I see a ghetto name, Darkwavion, trash, transgender, trash. Non-binary, trash. I weigh 1,000 pounds and I can't stand up for more than 2 minutes. Trash. Absolutely off the rip. Off the rip. Like, I wouldn't even call you at all for a job. I don't care how desperate I get. I would go to the office and work more just to not hire you, because I know from the beginning it's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem. Now, if you don't put that in your resume, you just kind of show up, it's a little bit different. Then I could kind of judge you based upon, what I'm seeing and whatnot. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not somebody that just hates the Transformers. I see them. I be seeing them. Trader Joe's. That's where they love to go to Trader Joe's. And most of them just kind of mind their business. But the problem is when they try to go out in the community and force people into their lifestyle, that be where the problem is. And that whole putting the Transformer part on your resume, that's part of the whole forcing on the people. Because now, all right, I'm looking at Peyton Manning in the face. I'm looking at Eli, Peyton, Arch Sr. I'm looking at all them in the face, but I got to call you Elizabeth. I got to call you Elizabeth. I got to call you Sarah. I got to call you Julie. I'm looking at a whole 5-star recruit quarterback going to Alabama in the face, but I got to call you something else. I don't want to deal with it. I'm good. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. It is totally fine. All right, but look, hold on. I got some more. I have some more. This right here, I think they're finally starting to understand. I think they're finally starting to understand why we say we don't want the Transformers in the bathrooms. And I've been shouting this from the mountaintop for forever. And I said as soon as they would allow Transformers into girls' bathrooms, women's bathrooms, because that's what's happening. It's not the other way around. It's men. I knew as soon as they passed certain little laws letting that kind of thing go on, it'd be a problem. Let's watch this.
If you're afraid of men dressing like women to go into the bathroom and assault you, you are not afraid of trans women. You are afraid of men.
It's like they're so close. It's like they get it, but they don't realize that they're getting it. Like, yeah.
Exactly. Like you're right on it. Yes, we're the women are afraid of the men coming into the bathroom. Like, welcome, hey, person, welcome to our side of the argument. Yes, they're afraid of men because they're men. They don't want the men in the bathroom with them, especially when they look like the dude from earlier, looking like Danny DeVito as a penguin. I don't want that character waddling in the bathroom. If I was a woman, I'd be like, no, I'm good. But yeah, they finally starting to get it. Now, here we have a young person. This is Oceanside City Council in California talking about the whole pride flag thing. And this person is not in favor of it, okay? The young people, shout out to the youngsters who understand what's happening with this nation and they want to see things go a other direction. They want to see things go in a different direction.
Good evening. Do I speak? Do I speak now? Yes. Okay. Good evening, City Council members. Because of your decision in raising the pride flag, you're putting children like me in even more danger of sexual abuse. And you will get away with it because it's not inclusive if you don't. I'm deeply ashamed of you adults who represent Oceanside. This is not the voice of the people. This is to support one perverted group and exclude everyone else. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light or for transient causes. And accordingly, all experience have shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. Be warned, there will be consequences, and I pray for your souls, because I know where you're going if you don't repent.
All right, there we go, youngster, hold on. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, shout out to your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, whoever that are giving you the proper direction, raising you right. Right on. Rather than giving the little boy the wrong kind of information, the wrong kind of medication, they're teaching them right, showing them the right thing from the very beginning.
Hi.
Okay, and see the thing about it is, it'd be guys like this. This is that Congressman Sarah, aka Tim, like Tampon Tim McBride, and they got this guy trying to teach children
Hi, everyone. Sarah McBride here in Wilmington, Delaware at Brouhaha alongside Representative Chrissy Houlihan from Pennsylvania and our wonderful Democratic whip, Catherine Clark from Massachusetts. We just concluded the third in a series of New Dems on the Road roundtables. This roundtable on the topic of the care economy. I'm proud to be the chair of the New Dems Care Economy Task Force, and we had a wonderful conversation with healthcare providers, small business owners.
I mean, if that guy right there is the future of your party, you got a problem.
She went with her family to the doctor, and the doctor said that she's a girl, and everyone should see her and treat her like a girl, right? Which is to say that they should call her Jazz, and they should treat her with respect and be nice to her. But can I ask you one more question? So.
See what I'm talking about? See, this right here is the problem. You got children being taught by this person. See, now, look, if I was a parent and if I had kids, there's no way I would allow this to happen. There's no way. So we got to blame this man, but also where are the parents? Where are the parents at? Man, listen, I'm going to flip all the tables over. Every table in there going to be upside down, inside out. Okay? Upside down, inside out. It's not going to happen. And that is what we are talking about on the right. If that man wants to be dressing like Peggy Bundy, that's fine. But check it out. At the end of the day, he's still a man, and he shouldn't be allowed to be teaching children anything. Now, speaking about Peggy Bundy, I told y'all I got a Married with Children clip, and I didn't even time that. I didn't even do that segue on purpose, but I did it. I felt it. Okay, this joke right here would not survive in the year 2025. Let's watch.
2, 4, 6, 8. Don't make fun of our weight. 2, 4, 6, 8. Don't make fun of our weight.
1, 2, 3, 4. You're gonna fall through the floor.
Hey, let me get a fair use, Fox, CBS, or whoever owned the clip. Let me get a fair use.
Okay, I get it. The no ma'am guys sent you guys over here, didn't they? It's the birthday gag. One of you supposed to jump out of a cake, but you ate it on the way over.
Bundy, we are activists.
Oh, I'd say not quite active enough.
Now, lady right there, do you recognize her? If you don't, I'll tell you who she is after she speaks.
It so happens we marched yesterday, shoe schmuck.
In what, the £1 Million March? What, hams across America?
Okay, so check it out. The lady right there, she is on the Tyler Perry shows. I forget her name, but she plays in a lot of the Tyler Perry sitcoms and stuff like this. Okay, so yeah, that's her back in the 90s or probably late 80s on the show with my man that played Al Bundy. So shout out to him. But yeah, that kind of comedy right there, that was on TV. That was on regular TV. You would just sit with your family and watch that. Now, is that a thing you could do anymore? Hey, that's when that show right there, I was talking about it earlier. Somebody might have got offended. That was a good white show. Talking about Married with Children. Loved that show. Loved it. Family Matters, it was all right, but it was a little cheesy. A little teeny bit. But I could understand why some would like Family Matters if you kind of grew up differently than me, maybe, I suppose. But it was cool. Shout out to Family Matters. Shout out to Married with Children. Now, this is what the new generation thinks about jokes like that. This is how offended they are at jokes like that. Okay, and we got a little bit of cussing because, again, the new generation cannot speak without using curse words.
How much people fucking hate fat people? They just hate them. Like, there's like this weird hatred it feels almost akin to racism.
This is not like racism. It is racism. Anti-fatness is rooted in anti-blackness.
Anti-fatness is rooted in anti-blackness. We went from having women of different races on a TV, a regular network TV show, sit down 8 o'clock in the evening with your family and watch it on TV, talking about fat women and joking and stuff like this. We went from that to this. And only about, 30 years? 30, 40 years? About 30 years time.
And the reason why people are pursuing thinness is because they're pursuing proximity to whiteness. The reason why people hate fat people is because people hate black people, and appearing curvier, bigger is associated with blackness, especially black women, and that's why they're discriminated in the workplace, overly sexualized, and this has gone back for centuries and centuries. All systems of oppression, capitalism, sexism, racism, it all comes back to white supremacy, which is the foundation of the fabric of America and rules every sector and aspect of our society.
Okay, look. So because you fat, you got to find some way to make it be about me. It's about me because you cannot back from the table. You cannot put the fork down. You cannot stop shoveling tostones, churros, enchiladas, pad thai, fried chicken, macaroni and cheese, pizza, all of that. Donuts. It's about blackness. And you know what? See, check it out. Since like the thought process of thinking that being fat is a black thing. Okay, this is why they did the statue. Okay. That's why they have the statue, because that's what they think of us. That's what they think. Oh, you're just fat, poor, unkempt, don't look well. Listen, I try to kill all the stereotypes. Whenever I go anywhere, I'm going to look the best in the entire place. I'm tall. I keep myself in shape. I'm not a big back. I got a good diet. I don't smell like a pack of Newports, weed, cigarettes, drugs, stink. I don't present myself like this. And when I go to a restaurant, I'm an overtip. Cash, keep that. Don't pay no taxes. No tax on tips. Put that in your pocket. Don't tell nobody. Whenever I go to a restaurant, not only will I tip, I'm going to give you cash money so you get all of that. And I'm an overtip. Take that. Because these stereotypes of us are damaging. And the more people like the lady we saw, the more they make it normal, like it's okay, the more you're going to see. And that's why I hate that statue so much, because it represents normalization of a depraved mindset and culture. I don't care if your grandma looked like that. So what? You're missing the entire point.
It all comes.
So yeah, people like this, man, hey, just put the food down and don't worry about what nobody else is doing. Like, what we doing, man? I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Now, we got a street interview with Savannah Craven. Shout out to Savannah. Okay, I remember Savannah. She unfortunately got attacked in New York for the same thing, but she's still out there doing the thing. Now, one thing I like that Savannah did, she got her husband right there in the back. He is not black, he's Indian, but shout out to him and her. Let's watch.
Which is what? What do they have to do every day?
White supremacy is everywhere, and just the slights and the, way people look and talk to people. And I don't mean to generalize, because I know it's not. I just feel that we owe so much to what you have done, what you are.
Well, you didn't own a slave, right? So
I did not.
Yeah. So what do you have to be responsible for?
Because I came from New England, and so New England didn't own slaves, but they started the slave trade.
That's not your fault.
It's not my fault, but it's my history, and I want to accept that and give retribution, and to say that how can we make it better? How can we listen to you? What can we do? To never make it up, because there's no way to make it up, but just how can moving forward we do better?
I mean, really, listen, all you got to do is worry about yourself, worry about your own. I mean, really, if you're a white person and you want to fix things, just focus on you, focus on yourself, focus on your family, be the best version of you can be. And I would say the same thing for everybody. If everyone was the best version of themselves, the world would be a better place. The world will be a better place. That's all I would say. Don't worry about, I owe you anything, I got to pay you back. Don't worry about it, because what you're going to do? There's nothing you can do. All you could do is be the best version of you. Simple. Because everyone has a role to play in society. And if people are not performing to their best, we all suffer. We all suffer. I don't care about your apology. Don't just be the best version of you, because I don't want to see anybody from any race just out here lost, just doing whatever, school shooting each other. Be the best version of you. All right. So yeah, shout out to the white lady and Savannah. Hold on. I'm gonna play what Savannah said in response, if she did say anything in response before I move forward. All right, let me play what she said in response.
Which is what? What do they have to do?
And so New England didn't own slaves, but they started to never make it up because there's no way to make it up. But just how can moving forward we do better?
Yeah. Well, I actually agreed with that woman that I do believe that this is a horrible representation of what the black woman can be. What I would love to see is somebody who's not super overweight, maybe a woman with her husband, because black women can have husbands and families, maybe with her baby. We have a huge problem within the black community with abortion. Over 400,000 black babies are aborted every single year. Over 70% of black children grow up without a father, including myself. So yeah, but I'm just gonna, give you a little multiple choice question. So if there was somebody we had to replace this statue with, would you rather replace it with Cardi B, Megan Thee Stallion, Candace Owens, or George Floyd?
Let me think.
What are we thinking about? What are we thinking about? I mean, she might not know who they are. That could be it. If you know where they are, then it should be easy choice. Candace Owens, if it had to be any of the four.
Can I make my own choice? Can I give you another choice?
If you want.
Let me see. I would. I think that I would love to see Cardi B. I would love to see.
All right, you know what? See, that's what I'm talking about. That right there is what I'm talking about. That's that liberal type of mind. Okay, and Cardi B, the funny part, she's not even really black for real. Like, okay, so a person who is admitted to drugging and robbing men, a stripper with the nastiest BBL I've ever seen in my life, who can barely string two words together, you want her to have a statue over Candace Owens? And she's not even I was trying to give her a chance. Like, you know what? Let's see what she got to say. Let's see the response. That was terrible. Now I got to hear more. Hold on. All right. I'm almost done with this. I move on.
Some entertainer and flamboyant and beautiful and just out there as her authentic self. I think that that's lovely. So anybody who is their authentic self, I think, which is why I thought I loved her, is because she is just who she is.
So she liked the statue that I showed of the fat black lady with no brassiere and a t-shirt and a pair of Haitian dad work boots on. Okay. Like, she got done with a long shift at Popeye's Chicken. And then they said, all right, yo, pose for this statue. We got to put up in New York City. And you, Miss lady having a hard day at work, you represent all black women in the whole state of New York and the entire country. Like the Empire State, the Statue of Liberty. You be the brand new Statue of Liberty. Boom. My goodness. My. All righty. Let's keep rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video. Hey, listen, I did not expect her to say Cardi B. I didn't expect that. I thought she was going to make a whole different choice, like not one of the four choices. I thought she was going to say, I don't know, maybe like Michelle Obama or something. Cardi. All right, I'm triggered. Now, this woman right here is going to explain why tornado sirens did not go off in St. Louis before the tornado. We saw some of that. I showed it on the show. A lot of the old brick houses had been damaged by the tornado. A lot of devastation. I showed y'all where the young ladies were filming it. And then there's like, you got trees blowing over, dark clouds, heavy winds. Oh, what did we do? And then when a tornado's like right up on them and the car get flipped over or something like this. Okay, we got to go inside, run away and scream. Anyway, the sirens didn't go off, and she is going to explain why.
The SEMA office is very small, and the majority of the time we work closer to business hours unless the need arises, such as what we're doing now, or special events. A lot of that work takes us out into the community, so we aren't necessarily in our office space at all times. We do have a very small staff. I have received reports of people that did hear it. I've heard from a lot of people that said they haven't heard it.
All right, so some say they heard the siren, some say they didn't. Now, my question is, okay, if you were not in the office when a tornado happened, then how was the siren going to get, like, okay, how are you going to turn the siren on if you're not in the office? Is there not a remote way to do that? You can't just open your phone and push a button? Because in my humble opinion, what it should be is like some kind of system. Okay, the weather report comes in, tornado was coming, tornado touchdown, tornado warning. You should push a button, hear it remotely. And then there should be a backup system to check. Maybe you could go to a particular place and you can hear it. I don't know. But yeah, that's the individual. Now, she looks very familiar. This is in St. Louis, Missouri, where the tornadoes happened. She looks very familiar. She reminds me of the bulldaggers we had in Los Angeles where you had the wildfires. And that was a whole disaster as well. Now, I'm not saying bulldaggers are bad at disasters. I'm just saying it is what it is. You got one job. Exactly, CB. You got one job. One job. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I put it to you this way. I'm not saying that bulldaggers are the reason why we have natural disasters. But if I move to a new city, or matter of fact, how about this? In my city right now, if there is some kind of news conference, some kind of event, and then we have a disaster relief person who speaks, and I see the first Rosie O'Donnell come on stage with a bald head, I'm like, man, we're doomed. We are doomed. If I see that, it's over with. I might as well just get a bunker right now and do my own weather prediction because they're not going to help with nothing. But anyway, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Somebody said Ralphie May. That's crazy. All right, so let's get into some of these real estate videos. This is a tiny home tour. And you know what I think is happening is that we kind of going back to the old school. We're reverting back to an old way because that house right there, in my opinion, is not really tiny. I think we're getting away from the McMansions, the 5,000 square foot, 6,000 square foot, just big for no reason. Even my house is too big. 2,800. I want a 1,500 square foot house for real. If I can get a 1,500 square foot house, I'll be good. Even if I had kids, I don't think the house should be so big to the point where it's like, it's just excessive. Let's watch.
Hi, I'm Erin. Welcome to my tiny home. Come on in for a quick tour. Here's my patio, perfect for an evening glass of wine. Here's my living room. Cozy fireplace. And floor-to-ceiling windows.
I like it so far. Like plenty of room in the front. You could just sit right there with guests, hang out, chill.
Over
Got a little island with 2 chairs. That's enough.
here's my kitchen, perfect for entertaining.
Perfect kitchen. You got the window right there for ventilation and sunlight while you're cooking. I like it.
Here's the loft, and come on down the hallway. Here's my refrigerator, my laundry space, and their bathroom.
Nice full bath right there in the front. I like it.
Come on back to my cute, cozy bedroom. And come on back to my own private patio.
Yeah, the patio. Yeah. So they probably would be out there most of the time with guests in the patio area.
Thanks for stopping in.
Yeah, and you got a loft upstairs probably for storage or something like that. That's plenty of space. It's not a lot of space for like company, but you got a porch, the living room, patio, and like a little bit of a front yard. That is not a bad house right there. If you had one more room in there, if you had kids or something, one more room with a bunk bed, you'd be good. You could have 2 adults, 2 kids living in that house perfectly fine. What do y'all think? Is it a tiny home too small? Would you live there? Half Orc Monk says, my grandparents lived in a tiny home. It was called a single wide mobile home back then. Yep. When we first came to Virginia from West Virginia, my dad had a trailer. I think he had a double wide. It might have been a single. I don't know. But yeah, we had a trailer at first. And it was fine. I mean, you got plenty of space in there. I got family now that still got trailers. And they're nice, though. Like, people think about trailers like old, beat down, not well maintained. That's not always the case. You got a lot of nice trailers and RVs and alternative ways of living rather than just a typical, structure you see in like suburbs and stuff like this. Tesla house, $10,000 for a house, or like a little pod. How much was it? That's a good question. I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't have the answer to that, but how much do you think this house was? You think it's probably like maybe I'd say probably about $250, depending upon where they are. If it's a new construction and you're in a desirable area, maybe $250, because that's not really a tiny house. A tiny house, in my opinion, is like one room, maybe 2 rooms, like a little cube. That'd be a tiny house. But I don't have the price. So that's a good question. I don't have the price. All right. Now, speaking about how much, let's talk about how much some people make for some of their jobs. And this is going to be important because people, especially young people, are trying to get out there in the industry, trying to get out there in the workforce, and they're having a hard time. But if you have certain skills, you can be just fine. So this guy in Atlanta, Georgia, shout out to ATL, is a software engineer. Guess how much he makes in Atlanta as a software engineer?
I'm a software engineer.
And how much money do you make per year as a software engineer?
I make around $500K.
Wow. And how many?
$500,000 a year. 500,000 U.S. American cold hard cash dollars a year in ATL. He is living like a king in Atlanta.
What experience do you have?
I have around 3 to 4 years of experience.
And what type of college degree do you have, or where did you go?
Yeah, so I actually went to Georgia Tech here for 4 years, and then I just started in big tech, and the rest is history.
Okay, and what do you love about being a software engineer? Tell us the perks, the benefits.
Yeah, I thought like software engineering was just sitting behind like a computer and just coding, but I realized after a few years there's so many fields into the tech, and it's very dynamic. So yeah, now I'm kind of like a program manager. I'm also a software engineer. I also am an ops lead, so I get to do a lot of different things, and I love that flexibility about software engineering.
Okay, and about how many hours a week do you work, more or less?
Yeah, it's kind of dynamic. So sometimes I work like 4 or 5 hours a day and I leave early, but sometimes if we're on call or we have to navigate issues, sometimes I work 12 hours a day, so it depends on the day.
Okay. Now, if someone wanted to become a software engineer, what would be your best advice you would want to give them?
Yeah, so this is a great question. A lot of my peers are actually self-taught. A lot of my peers are also...
Are you listening? Are you listening? A lot of my peers, guys and girls that I work with, are self-taught. So we're talking about going to college and things of this nature, racking up a big student loan debt. I'm not saying that you don't have to do it. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do it, but you don't have to. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to go to college. You could skip it, potentially.
So from like the big leagues and stuff. So I'd say that if you have the grind and motivation to grind out your skill sets and learn things like leak code and interview problems to do on coding interviews, that's kind of my 2 cents. I feel like you can navigate your way to success there.
Right on. Absolutely. So shout out to my man. Shout out to my man. 500 grand a year, Atlanta, Georgia. Somebody said it was fake. Nah, I go to Atlanta a lot. That's real in Atlanta. It's like that. If you've not been to Atlanta, it's like that. You know, if you watch TV and you think it's like, you know, chicken wings and Waffle House, it's more than that, for sure. Okay. This person is a lawyer from Argentina living in New York City. Now, this is going to be about what her expenses are, okay? What do you think her expenses are as a lawyer from Argentina living in USA? I think it's Argentina. Hold on. Make sure I'm saying the right thing. She is from, that's right, Argentina. She's going to share just how much she makes or just how much her expenses are.
What's your name?
Victoria.
Where are you from?
Argentina.
How long have you been in New York City?
For a year.
How much money do you spend per month living in New York City, including everything?
3,000.
She only spends $3,000 a month in New York City. $36,000 a year. $36,000 a year in New York City. Now, my question to you guys, could you live on that in New York City? Could you live on $36,000 in New York City? That's all of her expenses in the city. Is that possible or not? Y'all let me know.
How do you spend it?
Going out in restaurants and monthly rent.
What's your occupation? What do you do?
I'm a lawyer.
And lawyer in what? Or what?
IPIT, intellectual property.
So were you a lawyer in Argentina?
I am a lawyer in Argentina.
And why did you decide to leave Argentina and live in New York City?
Because I was looking to study abroad and maybe live the experience of knowing how it is to live in one of the most amazing cities in the world.
What is something about Argentinian people that Americans don't know?
We are really friendly, and we love eating asado and hanging out all together.
If you were to give life advice to everyone that's watching, but say it in your language, what would it be?
Que la vida es corta y aprovechen las oportunidades que se les dan.
All right, so there we go. So, do y'all think she spends $3,000 a month in New York City? Y'all think that? Like, what's going on? Y'all let me know. Y'all let me know what's happening. Yeah, y'all said sugar daddy. I don't know, man. She a lawyer though, so does she need that? You see what I'm saying? She might have a roommate or something like that. He didn't ask her that. Because if she got a roommate, 2 or 3 roommates, or she has like a husband, she could be married, she could have kids, you don't know. It don't always got to be a sugar daddy. That's the easy answer to say. 8-Bit Only says, I work in cybersecurity, self-taught, no degree, and no debt. If you're willing to work hard, you can do it without a crazy degree. Right on. Shout out to you. Yeah, I got a friend that does something similar to that. And he had some education, but it wasn't like he had to go to some big school, rack up crazy debt. It wasn't really like that. A lot of it was him just studying, learning, and becoming better and better. That's the main thing. NKM says it's $3K for a studio or apartment. She said she spends $3K going out. He said, but his question was, how much do you spend including everything? And she also said, if you listen, she said that I spend it on going out and my monthly rent. She did say that at a certain point. So you never know. I mean, she might live somewhere far and commute. Who knows? All right, well, we're going to see. You know, we'll see. We'll see how that works. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Okay, this is going to be Australia. What? Or he's from Australia. And he's an electrician. So how much do you think an electrician from Brisbane, Australia makes a year? All right, y'all let me know.
What do you do and how much do you make?
Oh, I'm an electrician and I make around, I don't know, $50 an hour.
Ooh, and are you working for a big company?
Yeah.
What are you building or working on at the moment?
We're working on Queen's Wharf.
How long was your apprenticeship?
Used to work on the Sunshine Coast. I've been doing my apprenticeship for around a year.
Is there more money in Brisbane compared to the sunny coast?
Yeah, I'm getting like triple
what
I
really?
was on before.
Oh my god. What's your favourite part about your job?
The boys are really nice at the job and then the money's pretty good as well.
What's the number one thing that makes you happy in life?
My missus.
Oh.
There we go. So young guy getting like $150 a year, $50 an hour. Okay, as an electrician over there in Australia, Brisbane. So again, working with your hands, doing things that machines can't quite do yet, doing things that the machine mind can't recreate. The machine cannot be an electrician as of yet. So he has a good career already. Young guy, getting money, probably already married and everything else. So you want to go in a direction like that. Okay, $50 an hour sounds right. Yeah. Now, I have more here. This guy's a fuel tanker.
And how much?
He's a fuel tanker. How much do you think fuel tanker, guys that, he's a fuel tanker. He's a fuel tanker driver. How much do you think these guys get paid to drive those fuel tanks that pull up to the gas station, your Buc-ee's, Wawa, Sit-Go, Quick Trip, Shop and Go, whatever you got? How much do you think they get paid to drive that big truck with the oil in it?
And how much do they pay?
This year I'll be making close to $150,000. This company pays now about $40 an hour depending on what time you start. You don't want to go to college or anything, it's a good trade. It's local, a lot of jobs won't pay you that and be local.
So you're getting paid $150 a year to drive an oil tanker locally, no college required. I know people that went to college that can't make anywhere near that, and they got crazy student loan debt. And this kind of goes back to what I was saying a lot. I think a lot of people are going to college and they really shouldn't be there. They really shouldn't be there. College is not for everybody. It's for some people, yes, but not for everybody. Guys like this, why would he go to college when he can drive that truck and make $150 a year?
Do you know if you can be a felon and still get this job? You can.
You can.
And
you could be a felon. Listen, I know guys that got felonies. Guys that got felonies, I'm talking about serious time. They did 6 years, 10 years in the penitentiary. not just going to jail for some child support. I'm talking about guys that got violent offenses, drugs, all of that. Come home, and these guys are driving trucks. They driving tow trucks. They doing merchant marines. They got their own business, plumbing, any kind of construction, lawn care, all of that. And they're making hand over fist money because they're not afraid to use their hands. They're not afraid to use their hands.
You need a high school diploma?
You don't need a high school diploma.
You don't need it. So you drive a fuel tanker?
Yes, sir.
What do you do exactly?
I load up 8,700 gallons of fuel and bring it here and deliver it to the underground storage tanks.
And how many deliveries do you get per day?
We get 4 loads, so every time we load, we have to go back to the terminal, load up again, and come back and make a delivery.
Like how many hours do you work per week?
Our shifts is from 2 to 2. There's a night shift and day shift. They're both 12-hour shifts. So
okay.
You have 12 hours to complete your work. If it's slow, we only do 3 loads, 9, 10 hours. But most of the time, we get 12 hours.
There you go. There you go. See? People think that these jobs don't pay that much. They think that, but yes, they do. Yes, they do. They do pay a little bit. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. All right. Now I got another one about how much kids cost, because people are talking about it's hard to have kids because how much they cost. I think Trump, they were talking about potentially giving $5,000 as a bonus for new babies. I don't think that'd be a good idea, because what you're going to get with that are people who just have the baby to get the money. And after the baby's born, they don't really care. You're going to get people that's like on the low level of society doing stuff like that. And for those who are trying to do things the right way, that $5,000 ain't going to be that much, because the childbirth in the hospital will cost a lot more than that. So I think it's important to understand just how much certain things cost. Now, I think some people spend too much money on things for children. And I want you guys to hear this and let me know what you think about it. Is it right on point? Is it too much? Is it too little? Y'all let me know. Someone said that job ain't too safe. I mean, hey, you know what? It might not be safe, but that's why they pay $150 a year. If it was an easy job, then they wouldn't pay that much. All right, so look, how much do children cost? What do these things cost that you got to spend for kids? Check it out.
30 minutes for $7,000?
I just got my hospital bill back for how much it costs for me to have Landon, and I'm going to have my husband blind react to all of the prices of these things. A non-stress test, that was $1,400.
I don't even remember what that was.
To make sure the baby's okay.
Oh, that,
did you follow?
$1,400?
If you put in the OB emergency level 4 like unit, how much do you think that cost? I'll tell you, $1,932.
What?
To be in the postpartum unit, that costs $2,038.
Just to be there before anything else.
To have a not C-section birth, it was $2,815.
You have to pay to have your own child?
Yeah. The epidural, that was $9,555.
I think you can handle the pain next time.
No! Be in the labor room, additional time. I don't even know what that means. Maybe it's because I almost passed out.
Oh, man.
$7,230.
No. Did you know that?
No. It says 30 minutes extra.
30 minutes for $7,000?
I did not know that. I didn't look through this. The recovery room, 30 minutes extra, $2,060. And for the first hour, $1,672.
What?
For me to get a urine drug screen, it was $824.
Okay, I could have told them you were on drugs.
For my amniotic fluid, just to make sure that my water did break, $743. So in total, for me to have Landon, $43,000.
So $43,000 to have one baby in America at a hospital, 43 bands. Now, does that sound too much, too little? Right on point. And see, this is why the whole $5,000 thing, I mean, that's cool, but you still got quite a bit of money left. You still got, what, $38,000 left out of the 40. You still got to, you see what I'm saying? So it's nice, but we still got to attack that number right there. And that's just for the birth. We ain't talking about the duration of the child being a child and to clothe, feed, educate, all of that kind of good stuff. Don't even get into private school. Forget about it. Forget about it. Even public school. school supplies, school uniforms, or whatever you got to buy, it's going to be some money. So if somebody says 43 grand is totally fair, about right, insane. Yeah, and that's why people are doing home births to, get you a doula and do all that kind of stuff and do it at home versus going to the hospital. 43 bands. Yeah. And this is a married couple, clearly. So imagine people that are just kind of winging it, doing it on their own. It's crazy. All righty. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. So we got Trump at West Point. I got some of these here. Shout out to Trump. Going to West Point. Let me play some of this.
Each of you on the field today is among the most talented members of your generation. You could have done anything you wanted. You could have gone anywhere. You could have gone to any school. This is one of the hardest schools to get into. And writing your own ticket to top jobs on Wall Street or Silicon Valley wouldn't be bad, but I think what you're doing is better. Instead of sports teams and spreadsheets and software, you chose a life of service, very important service, instead of stock options. And I do that stuff. It's sort of boring. Honestly, compared to what you're doing, it's real boring. You chose honor and you chose sacrifice. And instead of business suits and dress shoes, you chose muddy boots and fatigues, keeping yourself in shape. Because West Point cadets don't just have the brightest minds, you also have the bravest hearts and the noblest souls. You're amazing people.
All right, so there we go. So shout out to Trump going to West Point, encouraging the youngins. I mean, what he said is right because, going to the military, that's something that people nowadays, it's kind of difficult to get people to want to go that direction.
Ladies and
so he got a gift as well at West Point.
gentlemen, at this time, please remain standing for the presentation of the class gift. The class president, Cadet Catherine LaRue, will present a panoramic photo of the class of 2025 to the president.
On behalf of the class of 2025, I would like to present you with this class photo as a token of appreciation for your inspiring words today. Thank you, sir.
Beautiful. Thank you very much.
So if you guys can't see, it's a picture of the graduating class.
Ladies and gentlemen.
All right, so there we go. Yeah, put that up right in the Oval Office. Yeah, I want to see like a room where you got a lot of different memorabilia you get from the time in office. If you're getting presented with something from some people, you put it up there. The picture from West Point, put that up there. That's what I want to see. That is what I want to see. All right, but yeah, shout out to him. Now here we got James O'Keefe. Shout out to James O'Keefe, O'Keefe Media Group, formerly Project Veritas. You got raided by the feds when Biden was in office because he's doing too much investigative journalism, exposing these people. And no, we can't have that. We can't have a real journalist out there doing their job as a journalist. I thought we had freedom of speech in the country. Okay, I thought we had that, but only for certain people, I suppose. So look, he's talking about what would have happened potentially if Kamala won. Thank God she didn't. But what would have happened if Kamala won versus Trump? Check it out.
Ability if Kamala Harris was the president of the United States that someone like me would have been indicted by now.
2 seconds. Two seconds.
What's the over/under? Now the devil advocate to that is it takes time to build a case. We don't want fake raids. We don't want, but it does raise questions. No one's held accountable for anything. I'm held accountable. I've been arrested, raided, sued, audited. I'm held accountable, and I'm a reporter. So why isn't anybody held accountable for anything?
Well, to be fair, I don't think they're holding you to account.
What's that?
They're not holding you accountable.
The powers that be.
They're not holding you accountable. They're attacking you.
Well, same thing. I understand what Tim Pool is saying, but it's the same thing.
There's an overlap. because when they raided me, they leaked all my messages to various.
The idea that you're being held accountable would imply that you did something wrong.
Well, it means that if that I've done nothing wrong because evidently they don't have anything on me. But I get your point.
Yeah.
But I mean, in America, we believe in this right to a speedy trial. That justice, there's a speed to justice. Going back to your original question when you started your show, I think when you believe justice is based upon what people believe versus reality, what is true, that's when you risk losing your mind. When there's no justice, when there's no equality before the law, when the judge is breaking the law, that's when you start losing your mind. And I hope that we're wrong about that. I hope that there is justice. I think the people of this country have no faith in the system. And I've been accused of things I haven't done, Tim. It's like hell on earth when you're falsely accused of a felony. I mean, with January 6th, people were falsely accused. At least there was a colorable crime. In my case with the diary, it was like, are you kidding me?
Oh, yeah, I remember that. So the whole thing, the whole thing was about the diary. Because remember, I think they, meaning Project Veritas, had acquired Ashley Biden's diary. And they're like, oh, no, we're not going to do that. Nah, you're not just going to have that in your possession. Nah, that's not what we're going to do. So I think that's what he got in trouble for back a little while ago. Now, somebody asked me, did I find what Tim Pool said about me? I did. But it wasn't Tim Pool. It was one of the guys on the podcast. I'm going to show you to you guys right quick so you can see what they said. But it was good. Like one of the guys said that he used to be in the chat, and this chat quite a bit, watching me with you guys. And he was just saying that they should bring me on. And then they said they called to somebody that they know. And I think this person did reach out to me before, but it never really just followed through. Let me see if I can find that right quick, because I know it's right up on it here somewhere. But yeah, shout out to Tim Pool. Hey, bro, if you're listening to me, whenever y'all ready, y'all just let me know. We'll make it happen. We shall make it happen. You seen him without a beanie? I've not seen him without a beanie.
English speaking.
Okay, here we go. I found it.
They were 98 in the Marine Corps, and it was just crazy. There was of ABL. I'm a big fan of Anthony Brian Logan, by the way. That's his name. He's on YouTube. I used to watch him and rock out on Saturday nights in the chat. So, I think he's a great recommendation. He's definitely America dude. He's part of Brexit for America, or Blackset, I guess, with Candace Owens and them. ABL's solid. I agree. Lisa, if you're listening,
send her a message in Slack.
I will.
Isaac Van.
All right, so I guess there was a super chat that they read, and one of you guys was like, "Hey, when are we getting ABL?" And then my man was like, "Well, hey, I used to be in the chat on Saturday rocking out just like right now." And you talking to the lady, and Lisa did hit me up, like I say in 2023. I responded, but I didn't hear anything back. So whenever they're ready, I say just let me know. We can make it happen. All right. Tim Pool's a grifter. How was he a grifter? What did Tim Pool do? What did I miss? What's the Tim Pool drama? What happened? Okay, what's really going on? And thank you, Tiberius Kirk. I found the hour 54 mark. What was the guy's name in the chat? Hold on. What you mean, the super chatter?
States officials denied it, and that's happening.
He says, "Remember when the Bosnian genocide took place in 92 to 95, and the officials kept denying it? Same energy here." And he's referring to the South African government denying. So, or that's how I understood it.
I went there in 98 in the Marine Corps, and it was just crazy. There was no windows anywhere. All the buildings were. I was in Kosovo. Everything's blown up. It was a weird place, and everyone had a satellite dish on their roof. It was weird, but they had no windows, and it was freaking cold out. It's just a crazy time.
Ian Kenny says, Raymond G. Stanley Jr., do you still watch?
Okay, so Ian Kenny is the person who sent a super chat. That's what I was looking for, because one of you guys had asked it. All right, so yeah, shout out to them. Whenever they're ready, I'm ready. Let's rock and roll. Okay, now let's talk about Harvard. Have you guys heard about Harvard? So Harvard, Trump blocked them from accepting foreign students. Now, a judge came in and then blocked what Trump did. That's going to be a battle, of course. But let's hear what Trump said about it.
Billions of dollars has been paid to Harvard. How ridiculous is that? Billions. And they have $52 billion as an endowment. They have $52 billion. And This country is paying billions and billions of dollars and then gives student loans and they have to pay back the loans. So Harvard's going to have to change its ways. Billions of dollars has been paid to Harvard. How ridiculous is that?
My question would be, why are we paying so much money to Harvard? Is it because of R&D? Is that it? Or is it more? Is it more? Like, I like to know where the money's going. Let's have a certain level of transparency. If you're going to pay them so much money, I like to know what the money's being spent on, because let's not forget, it's taxpayer money. This is taxpayer money. That it's federal monies. It's money that we give to the government. We work hard, work our fingers to the bone to send them money. And what do they do with it? Discriminate against whites and Asians, allow Jews to be attacked on campus, allow riots to take place, and don't really do anything to try and curtail it with our taxpayer money? I think not.
Well,
all right. Now, this is going to be Scott Bessent, our Secretary of the Treasury, talking about Harvard and that whole kerfuffle. Let's watch.
A while ago, posted actually on social media that they were in the process of removing the tax exempt status from Harvard. There's been a lot of issues with Harvard, but that's one that comes within your bailiwick.
So not only do they get monies from the federales from us, they're also tax exempt.
Where is that process right now?
The president is moving forward with that, and we're also looking at taxes on endowments. And I think the important thing here, and it goes a little bit back to this Main Street versus the elites, that Harvard, to have a tax-exempt status, there are rules you have to follow. And if you're not following the rules, no one's above the law. So we will see if they're following the rules. It looks like there's a substantial number where perhaps they weren't. And, again, too, Harvard is a gigantic hedge fund. They run a leveraged investment model. So we'll see where all that goes.
So there we go. There we go. Yeah, that's the main thing. Like, if you're going to take federal money, you have to play by the rules of the federal government. And if you don't want to play by the rules, don't take the money. I don't see how it could really be I don't see how you could see it any differently. That's just what it is. Same thing with you're talking about people that live in government housing, things of this nature. Okay, there are certain rules they have to follow because they're being funded by the government, subsidized by the government. If you don't want to have those rules on you, then don't take their money. That's it. All right. So, yeah, shout out again. That was Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent. Now, here we have RFK Jr. And I like what RFK's doing, getting America back healthy, because there's so many big backs. It's an epidemic of big backs in this nation. And that is going to cause a big strain on the medical industry. I wonder how much obesity costs us, the taxpayer in this country. Is probably the biggest number you ever seen in your life. It'll probably be some kind of crazy out of this world number. But let's watch.
Well, the report is the beginning of a conversation. It's the first time in American history that all of government, the entire cabinet, most of whom participated in drafting this report or commenting on it, all reached a consensus. The consensus is that we're in the middle of a chronic disease epidemic that is existential for our country. We spend $4.5 trillion a year on our health care. That's 2 to 3 times more than any European countries.
$4.3 trillion on health care? Wait a minute. Did I hear that?
Our country. We spend $4.5 trillion a year on our health.
$4.5 trillion on health care in the United States. That's crazy.
Essential for our country. We spend $4.5 trillion a year on our health care. That's 2 to 3 times more than any European country spends. And yet we live 6 years less than they do. This is the first generation of American kids that is going to live shorter lives than their parents. They're going to live less happy lives.
I got to ask you guys a question. He said something very important right there. We live less than a lot of our European counterparts, despite spending $4.5 trillion per year on healthcare. So obviously the money is not helping. You could throw money at it. All it is at this point is just a way to make money for people to get the money. Okay, that's just a way for the industry to keep afloat. It's from sick Americans. That's really what it is. So here's my question. Out of 193 countries in the world, maybe 200, however you want to count it, out of all the world's countries, where do you think the U.S. ranks as far as life expectancy? Again, out of all of the world's countries, where do you think, number-wise, 1 through, let's say, 200, where do you think the U.S. ranks on that list? Y'all give me a number. I know what it is already in my head, but y'all give me a number.
They're going to live less healthy lives. We are literally the sickest country in the world. And we know what the causes are. President Trump asked us to identify them. We're looking at chemical exposures, over-processed food, lack of exercise, and other indicators. 100 days or 60 days from now, we will publish a group of policy initiatives to end this epidemic in our country.
All right, so shout out to RFK Jr. Now, I have the number. Let me just pull it up right quick for you guys. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. What was I saying? Life expectancy. All right. Let me pull that up right quick. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna show it to you live right here. Some of you guys are pretty right on it. Hold on. Let's get rid of these ads. Let's turn these ads off of this because they swarming me right now. Okay, perfect. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, first we know that men live a lot less than women. Worldwide, 70.9 is life expectancy for males. Women, 76.2. So they live a lot longer than us. Now, let me see if I can get this. There we go. So you see number 1, Hong Kong, 2, Japan, South Korea. You see some of the high countries as far as their life expectancy is concerned. All right. So Japan, South Korea, that's no surprise. They live a lot longer over there. It's because of the way they live. They live a certain way. They eat certain foods. They got traditional ways of keeping themselves, nice and centered and balanced. Now let's scroll down a little bit. I'm not going to read all of these. Let's scroll down a little bit. Oh, we're scrolling still. Okie dokie. Number 48, USA, right behind Albania. So before, hold on. Let's go a little bit. Oman, 44, Czech Republic, Czechia, 45, Panama, 46, Albania, 47, and behind USA we got Estonia, Saudi Arabia, New Caledonia. That's not a country, but that's fine. Poland, Croatia, Slovak. Now where's China? Number 57, 78.37 compared to USA at 79.61. So it's not a big gap between the US and China. Not a big gap at all. So we got some problems. Cuba is 78.45 compared to our 79.61. Cuba. We got a problem. For us to be the best country in the world with the most money, the most innovation, we're low on the totem pole. Not that far behind, not that far ahead of China. And China got all kind of problems, environmental, fake food, all kind of just crazy things happening over there. Somebody said Russia. Where's Russia at? Let me show Russia since I'm right here. Russia is 112 at 73.52, which is right after Bhutan, Trinidad, North Korea, Suriname, Belize, DR. Then after Russia, you got Tonga, Honduras, Libya, Seychelles, state of Palestine is funny, St. Lucia, places like this. Okay, then of course you're going to have a lot of your African countries down here. Okay. Where's South Africa? Let's talk about that since we're right here. Number 169. Number 169 at 66.49. So when we're talking about 27,000 killings in 1 year, a very, very low life expectancy, I think that's a bigger problem than the white genocide, which is not a thing. It is what it is. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling. If you like what you're hearing so far, So y'all gonna ask all the countries. Okay, India is 125 at 72.49. Let me just make sure I get all the countries that y'all want. Canada is number 19 at 82.88, much higher than the USA. But they're also a smaller country than us. It's only like 25 million of them. And Mexico is going to be lower, 94 at 75.45, but not that low. Not that low at all. Not that low at all. Antarctica is last. Yeah, ain't nobody. It's just a few people on Antarctica that's like scientists or whatever. Let me see. Is that everybody? Is that all the countries that we want to get? Ukraine, 99, not that far below. Mexico at 74.86. Let me just read some since I'm right here, and then I'll move on. Okay, Dominican Republic, 73.99 at 106. Let me see. Iraq, number 123 at 72.53. Egypt, number 128, 71.99. Then you get into a lot of your Polynesian places, Samoa, Vanuatu, Micronesia. Let me see. Indonesia, Cambodia, Nepal, Solomon, Turkmenistan. And the last one is Nigeria, 54.78. Okay, and Lesotho is landlocked by South Africa. It is 197 out of 201. So when you're talking about South Africa, you got to talk about like you're dealing with a different kind of place. You're talking about death and all of that. You got to put it in context. You have to. Okay, and then another one would be Eswatini, aka Swaziland. Is that going to be up here? Let me see if they have it. Eswatini, 64.4. Okay, at 178. So you have low life expectancies, high tribal conflict, a lot of things happening in Africa, and the whites are not going to be excluded from things that are happening in Africa the same way that the blacks aren't. Anyway, so that's that. If you want to see this list, just Google, put it in your Googles. Don't ask no AI. Put it in your Googles. Countries ranked by life expectancy. Okay. Somalia, you saw all that. But anyway, I'll move on. We don't got time to go through all 200 countries. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. All right, now let's go to RFK again, talking to CNN. And interviews like this I don't like because it's like a gotcha. Rather than just going into it with good faith, it becomes a gotcha. I don't like it.
The message was to trust the science and what studies were finding and what
during
people were
COVID,
saying.
that was a bad message. It was trust the experts. That's what you kept telling us. Trust the experts.
I don't know that I ever said that.
Well,
I mean, we talked to the officials. Actually,
your
during
network
COVID,
was saying it every day.
we took the briefings live every day with all of the experts that President Trump. Those were President Trump's doctors. But those were the people President Trump brought out to the briefings.
Well, President Trump brought, and I can.
He brought Dr. Fauci and Dr.
Verse,
Birx.
I can tell you what President Trump did right and what President Biden did wrong. What I'm saying to you.
But I want to get back to what your comment was about that. You said that people should not take your medical advice.
Yeah,
that's your position?
Yeah, absolutely. People should not be taking medical advice. I'm somebody who is not a physician, but they should also be skeptical about any medical advice. They need to do their own research. You're a mom. If you're a mom, you do your own research on your baby carriage, on your baby bottles, on your baby formula.
But they don't have medical degrees, obviously. If you're a mom and you're looking at what science has been tested, they trust their doctors and their pediatricians.
One of the responsibilities of living in a democracy where physicians and every sort of expert are subject to all kinds of biases. One of the responsibilities of living in a democracy is to do your own research and to make up your own mind.
So that's your message to moms or to anyone, is to do your own research.
I would say be skeptical of authority. My father told me that when I was a young kid. People in authority lie.
And look, you see the lower third right here? It says, people absolutely should not be taking my medical advice. It's like, really? Is that what you got from what he's saying? He's saying, listen, I can tell you certain things, but don't take anybody's word for it. It's not just about me. Don't take anybody's word for it completely. Do your own research. Okay, talk to doctors, get a first opinion, second opinion, third opinion. Don't just put your life in one person's hands. Don't just put your knowledge in one person's hands. Figure things out on your own. Also, it's good to get medical advice as well, but don't just solely rely upon that.
And we've seen a lot of that in our country, and people in the media lie. And people need to make their own judgments and be skeptical and maintain their capacity for critical thinking. And that was shut down during COVID. And the media was complicit in that.
Disagree on that last part. Secretary Kennedy, thank you.
Yeah, she's terrible. She's awful. She's bad. But it's CNN. I mean, they try to kind of be a little bit more even. They try to be a little bit more understanding, but it just ain't really there. It is not really there. Not all the way. All right. But if you like what you're hearing so far, I know what to do. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. Yeah, we got a lot to get through here. Hold on. What do I want to show? All right. I want to show this debate or a little bit of it with Charlie Kirk.
Let me ask.
At Oxford and Cambridge over in UK. I've not seen this, but I want to see it with you guys to see what's going on here. All right, let's roll it.
Let me ask you, in the conflict of Israel versus Hamas, who's the good guy?
I believe both Hamas and the Israeli government are evil, but I think also that there is no justification.
Are they equally?
There is no justification for the murder and mutilation of thousands of innocent people and children.
Well, let's
futile.
Let's zero in on it.
There is no justification, Mr. Kirk, for invading hospitals, for bombing innocent populations and dragging out a war which is damaging Israel and the West's security.
You've made that point, but
it's not a point; it's a moral truth, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. It was also a moral truth that the war started because 1,300 Jews were killed and 200 were taken hostage. And when you declare war on Israel, expect a firestorm in reaction. Let me finish, I let you talk. Israel, at its holiest day of the calendar year besides Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah, Samat Torah, the 50-year anniversary of the Six-Day War. On Shabbat, Hamas invaded Israel, deciding to go recklessly to music concerts, to homes, to kibbutzes, and taking 200 plus hostages. They knew what they were doing. In one of the most cloistered urban environments on the planet, 2 million people live in a place where it's impossible to wage war. Impossible. Where they wear civilian clothing, they violate every tenet of the Geneva Convention, and the IDF, when they do something right, they get no credit. When they do life-saving surgeries of a Gazan child, they get no credit. When they drop leaflets, they get no credit. But when they happen to bomb a place where they are operating their military from, which we now know from third-party verified sources, hundreds of Hamas military operations are in mosques, schools, and hospitals. I'm sorry, the country where they were living in relative peace on October 6th, that all of a sudden we had a war and Hamas started the war. And I don't see people that were really upset about the 2 million Germans that were killed in World War II, civilians. A tragic truth of war is that civilians die. I don't like it and you don't like it. And they brought it upon themselves. The only operation and entity to blame is the leadership of Hamas, not the Israeli government, for fighting this defensive war after they were invaded. There is a good guy and there is a bad guy. I honestly...
Isn't that the morality of a child?
Well, hold on. It's interesting you say that, because a child who knows that Israel is the good guy, Hamas is bad, has a lot more wisdom than a student like yourself at Cambridge University.
All right, there we go. So what do y'all think? What do y'all think? Did Charlie school on one? That the ginger bunny? And my man was hopping. He was excited. He's young though, so it's fine. But who got it? Y'all think my man, the young guy, or Charlie? Y'all let me know. And as far as what I think that fighting has been happening there since the beginning of time, and it ain't going to stop. It's not going to stop. So talking about who the good guy and the bad guy, I don't think that really matters, because, I mean, anybody could be, it all depends on who you want to actually succeed, I suppose, or your religion. I don't know. For me, I just want them to stop fighting, but I'm not really going to pick sides. It's the same thing with the whole Ukraine and Russia thing. I'm not trying to be pro-Russia or pro-Ukraine. I also want to spend $20 billion trying to fight it over here in the States. Furthermore, I don't think we should be perpetuating it with our monies. If we're perpetuating war, they ain't never going to stop with our money. Why are we doing that? What's the purpose? What are we going to gain from it? I don't really understand. So, yeah, I would just want the war to end, but I don't think that they're ever going to stop fighting over there. And it's not just Israel, Palestine. You got a bunch of little fights and skirmishes all over that particular region. All over the region. It's the same thing going on. So that's pretty much where I'm at with it. Alrighty. Yeah, I don't condone no killing, 8-bit only. I don't condone no killing. The Israeli kids, the Palestinian kids, I don't condone no killing, period. I'm not going to say that it's all right to kill the Palestinians because the Palestinians killed the Jews, and I'm not going to say the other way around either. It's wrong all the way around. But are they going to ever stop? Man, here's my question. What can we do to stop them from fighting? And they've been fighting since the dawn of man. The dawn of man. They've been fighting right there in that region. They ain't never going to stop, unfortunately. Now, let's go to South Africa and see what's happening with I got a video from South Africa, but I'm going to show this just to get a little bit of context if you need a refresher. Captain Kurt says, are you banned now? I can see you, so you're not banned.
Our Constitution guarantees and protects the sanctity of tenure of land ownership. And that Constitution protects all South Africans with regard to land ownership. However, we do say, because we've got to deal with the past, the government, and as your government also has the right to expropriate land for public use.
And you're doing that.
And we've never really gotten underway with that. And
so if you heard that, he said that the government can take land, but they've not actually done it yet. They've not actually done it, but they can do it.
We are going to be doing so.
You're taking people's land away.
We have not.
From them. And those people, in many cases, are being executed.
All right, so that was a piece of that from the White House visit from Ramaphosa, the president of South Africa, and of course, President Donald Trump. All right, now I want to show some pictures just right quick so we get a little bit of. All right, here's the size of South Africa. If you didn't know, just a little bit of geography. You can see this is like the map, of course, imposed upon the USA map to get a little bit of context. So as you can see, if you're not watching the video, South Africa, the western part of it, it's not really, it's kind of like at a 45-degree angle kind of. But anyway, the southern part, the southwestern part is, that's like what, by El Paso, the western part of Texas, New Mexico, that border. And it would go up to like Colorado, closer to Denver, and then up to Minneapolis, and then down to St. Louis. And then you got to go through Oklahoma, other parts of Missouri, and a little bit of Arkansas. You can see the size right there of South Africa. Okay, you can see the big city centers, Joburg, Pretoria, Durban, Cape Town. All right, now, here is South Africa on the continent. You got Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, Mozambique, and then you got Eswatini, a.k.a. Swaziland, in the right-hand corner, landlocked by Mozambique and South Africa. And then right there, Lesotho. That's the landlocked country that had the really low life expectancy rate. Same thing with Swaziland. Okay. So that's a little bit of context. And then you can see Pretoria, Joburg. You can see how far that is from Durban. And then Cape Town's over there. So that's pretty far. Think about, we saw the map. So this would be, if it was the USA, Cape Town would be down by El Paso, Texas, and Joburg could be up there closer to Minneapolis. That's a pretty big distance. Okay. Now let's get to some videos here about the farmers. Now, this guy is a white Afrikaner and a farmer. So if I was to ask somebody about what's happening in South Africa, who would I ask? Who would I ask? Would I ask Elon Musk, a U.S. citizen since 2002, or this guy right here on the farm in South Africa? Watch.
Not have a genocide in South Africa.
This South African farmer wants to set the record straight. He wrote an open letter to US President Donald Trump after Trump offered Afrikaner farmers refugee status.
But it's a genocide that's taking place that you people don't want to write about. But it's a terrible thing that's taking place. And farmers are being killed. They happen to be white.
The first group of 59 Afrikaners traveled to the US in early May. It has raised questions about why a group of white South Africans of Dutch and French descent are being granted refugee status when the Trump administration has stopped all other refugee programs. De Jager represents a large farmer organization which has members across South Africa. He says while it's true that farm murders are a major problem, Trump hasn't got the facts straight.
Pause. Now, somebody said who's being paid to say that. Who's paying them? And who are the counter voices? What, Lauren Southern? Is she South African? Is she a farmer? What she know? A Canadian? Is it Donald Trump? Does Trump know everything? Is it Elon Musk? A U.S. citizen since 2002? I mean, like, what are we saying? And he also said, yes, there is a problem. It's a major problem on the farms, but it's not quite what you're saying. You're kind of over the target, but you're a little bit off. That's all. Ain't nobody saying that the murders ain't happening, but give me the full picture of what's going on here.
I wrote the letter to Trump because I feared that he might have a misunderstanding of what is going on here. We thanked him for having sympathy with our cause, but we also said, rather help us to make things better here. Help us to, within our lifetime, fix the problems we have here. And it's not only a race thing. Black farmers have similar problems too, and we need those problems also to be attended to.
Trump's genocide claims are a result of brutal attacks on farmers in South Africa. Most of the murders happened during armed robberies. There's a large memorial at Nampo, South Africa's largest farming expo, dedicated to farm murders. It contains around 2,800 names, going as far back as the 1970s. One thing that stands out about this event is the diversity. We've seen many Afrikaners, but we've also seen many black people in attendance. This memorial includes the names of black farmers who were victims of farm murders, debunking the idea that it's a crime that only affects white people. And those we spoke to say while they are concerned about farm murders, they don't want to leave South Africa.
If people want to do it, I think it's a good idea. It gives them an option out if they want. But I personally would not do it. This is my country. And that is something that Mandela fought for, is for freedom for all.
I cannot really say there's a genocide in South Africa. The only thing that is happening is it's a crime in general. You know, in every country, in every places, we do have crimes, irrespective of race, you know. So I think the genocide issue is exaggeration.
We do not have a...
So, I mean, there we go. We got, people said, oh, Lauren Southern, she went to South Africa, talked to them. Well, we got white farmers, we got black farmers, and they're telling you what's going on. Now, I got another video. Hold on. I got another one. This is going to be from the actual meeting, right? From the meeting in the White House, there was a white South African, an Afrikaner, in the room with Ramaphosa, who already knew Trump before this. So this is Trump's friend. This is Trump's friend who was in the room, and you're going to see him talk, and he's going to say the exact same thing that I've been saying, that they just said in that video, that everybody been saying in South Africa for the most part, except for the 59 people that came over here. Okay, let's watch some of this. This is a journalist right here. He's going to kind of cue it up. Watch.
Them, and some of them had nothing to do with killings of white farmers, but it was just a real show. On the South African side, they had Johan Rupert, who's a billionaire.
So this guy, Johan Rupert, now this guy is a billionaire, an Afrikaner in South Africa, and Trump's friend, and a friend to Ramaphosa and the staff. Okay, so ABL, do you believe the news? Look, I showed you numbers, I showed you news reports, multiple sources, and I got Trump's friend right here in the room in the White House, and he's going to check Trump. Watch this.
South African, he's white Afrikaner, and he knows both Trump and Ramaphosa, and he played an instrumental role in brokering this meeting. And he basically spoke up and said,
"We have too many deaths, but it's across the board. It's not only white farmers.
Both black and white people are getting killed." For President Ramaphosa, it was a sign.
So what I got? What else do you want? Like what else can I do? What else can I do? Because okay, I've shown enough evidence, enough information to prove my point. Now, where's the evidence to the contrary? Lauren Southern, a handful, 50 people, refugee. Come on. Like, I want to see, I showed you everything. If you don't want to believe it, it is what it is. Now, let's show some of the farm murders from 2010 until 2023. Oh, y'all know one thing about me. I'm going to always have my facts and figures. Okay, so check it out. Hold on. So look, 2010, you can see the numbers from 2010 to 2023. It's about the same. It's not much of a difference. Okay, actually, it was worse like 2014 to 2019. And the peak of the murders in the past 13 years was 2017. This is Trump's first term in office. So when Trump was first in office, it was really a bigger issue, but still not that much. Farm attacks, farm murders. Now, a lot of these attacks are going to be armed robberies because there's money there, there's resources there. A lot of it's going to be armed robberies. And again, you got black farmers too. And the way South Africa is still, that the blacks are going to be most of your labor force. You know, it's still kind of apartheid-ish. The whites are going to own the farms and the land, and the blacks are going to be working it. So when you have a farm attack, a lot of them are going to be black people, black Africans killed as well for armed robberies. And you can see what the numbers are. It's pretty much what I said, about 50 a year, especially 2023 was 41. So I got everything. I got facts, figures, interviews, Trump's friend, the billionaire in the Oval Office, the Afrikaner himself. I got white folks, black folks, everybody. What more do I need to show? Okay, my question is similar to what Trump was asked. What else can I do to prove that what I'm saying is correct? Like, what else am I going to do? And the chanting, listen, that's Julius Malema of the EFF. So if you have a rally and it has AOC and the rally is packed from the top to the bottom and they're talking about we got to kill democracy, we got to eat the rich, would that represent the entire USA, or is that just AOC and her people, her crowd that follow her? Okay, you have differences of opinion. You got the EFF, they got their own political points of view. They're gonna chant them old time apartheid songs, kill the farmer, but that's just that particular group. It's the same thing we have over here. Okay, you'll have people in the streets, thousands, tens of thousands of them in the street talking about free Palestine. That's why we had the Jewish people that get attacked at the actual embassy. That's why, because of the thousands and then social media, all of that. If you go to TikTok and you see 10,000 people in New York City or more, 100,000 in the streets talking about free Palestine and the Jews are the problem, and you see campuses, you see Columbia, you see Harvard, Yale, etc., full of anti-Semitism, you would think that's the entire USA. Is that fair to say that? No, it's not. It's the same thing you do with South Africa when you see old chants from Julius Malema in the EFF and those kind of people. They exist, but that's not going to be the entire country. It's so simple. I don't understand. It's weird. Now, if I'm wrong, prove it. You got to prove it. And don't show me no video of Julius Malema chanting. Like, a video of a chant is not evidence of a genocide. Numbers are evidence. 50 people a year is not a genocide. I don't care how you slice it. It's not a genocide, period. A genocide is like the Holocaust. Okay, that's a genocide. We ain't talking the slave trade. That's a genocide. You're talking about millions dead. 50 a year. I mean, how many people die of heart attacks, car accidents, freak accidents, boating accidents, fishing? I mean, come on. Anyway, the golfer statement. What did the golfer say, Lee? I'm not sure. I'm not sure I follow you on that one. But I'm gonna read into it. So here's my question. If you have 27,500 murders in a year in the country, and of that, 50 are farmers, and that's not even all white people, that's a genocide. It's silly. It makes no sense. It makes zero sense. And I don't care what nobody says. I'm gonna stand on that. And I know I'm right. I'm 100% right. And if I'm wrong, you can't just say you're wrong and don't prove it. Give me something. Give me some evidence. Okay. Give me something. Okay, hold on. Let me see. Hey, I'm gonna die on that hill, but I ain't gonna die though, because I'm still here. Hold on. Carolyn says the Dutch make the land productive, providing 96% of their food supply. But Carolyn, let me ask you a question. How did they survive before the white man came? Because they were there before the white man got there. So how did they live? You see? And again, it's not a genocide. It's armed robbery because you have criminals in the country committing a lot of crime. That's not a white or a black thing. That's a crime thing that affects whites and blacks alike. Actually, it affects blacks more than anybody else. Okay, 8-Bit Only says, as much as I agree with you on the raw numbers, but this shows media bias when it comes to population with percentages versus the raw numbers like police killings, which is low. Well, are you going to do what the media does and blow up the idea of police shootings as a real problem? We know that police shootings are not a problem. Are you going to try to say that this is the same as that and then make it be a thing the same way the media did with the police shootings? Are we going to do that? I don't think you should. I mean, you could do it, but if you do that, if you say this is a problem, then you also got to say that it's a problem when people get stabbed, you want to ban knives, people get shot, you want to ban guns. Police, we got to take guns from police because people get killed by police. You would say the same thing. Ban cars as well because you might get in an accident. Ernie L. statement in the White House. Okay. Thank you. But okay. Let me see if I can find that right quick. Okay. Let me see if I can find that right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Hey, the refugees, Kaish, that's fine. If they want to come over here, all 50 of them, sure, come on. Ain't no problem. As long as they don't, just be bumps on the log. We don't want to import no poor white trash. As long as they're going to be productive, as long as they're going to be coming over here doing things, being productive, then rock out. Same thing I'm going to say to anybody else. Okay, if we're going to get them to come over here, let them be productive, whether they be from Central America, South America, Africa, Europe, Asia. As long as they are productive, not committing crime, not living on the state, cool, come on. Legally, come on, no problem. Vetted, legal, come on. I have no problem. But if they're going to be a nuisance, just like anybody else, you could go back. You could go back. Just like anybody else. Okay, if you're going to be Alberto Garcia, MS-13 gang member, go back. If you're going to be over here at a college campus on the visa, rabble rousing, starting stuff, go back. Go back. Okay. My MIE says, I saw a story that says it could be up to 70,000. What's that? The refugees? Y'all let me know. Okay, Ernie Els. That's what I'm supposed to be doing. I got distracted. Ernie Els. Let me see.
We've got a great ally. We can have the U.S. We've got a great ally. We can have the U.S. It's always been an ally of South Africa for a very long time. We've got a great ally. We can have the U.S. It's always been an ally of South Africa for a very long time. Even in the days of the war, up in Angola, you guys helped us. So we've got a great.
Hold on, I'm reading something right here, and I don't want to say your name, boss. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just come back to this right here. So I don't want to put you on the screen. Someone says, I thought there was no black people there because sub-Saharan Africa, they did not cross the Sahara Desert till the white man got there. You see what I'm saying? Bro. So sub-Saharan Africans did not cross the Sahara Desert south until the white man got there? Huh? Bro, no. Sub-Saharan Africa is below the Saharan Desert. Above the Saharan Desert, you got Tunisia, Libya. You got basically the Mediterranean. You got those people, the northern, the Berbers, the Arabs. some of the Europeans that came across, like Tripoli, places like this. Okay, that's up there. Ain't no black Africans up there. We live south of the Sahara. Once you get to Niger and Chad and all of that, we start to kind of like Timbuktu and below. So Burkina Faso, Ghana, Nigeria, West, and then Central African Republic, Cameroon. And then once you go east, you got Djibouti, Ethiopia, Somalia, Eritrea, South Sudan, not the north, because that's where the Arabs are. That's why that country got segmented. It's north and south, because in the north, you got your migrant gangs from Fresh and Fit, the Arabs, okay, the big nose type of, and below that, you got the real dark skinned people that look like me, like this t-shirt. That's why it's north and south, because you got Arabs in the north, blacks in the south. Anyway, my man said, hey, they ain't crossed the Sahara until the white man got there. It's okay, bro. I ain't going to point you out. That's why I ain't going to put your name on the screen. All right. Hold on. I'm going to read some of the comments. I want to see the comments. All right. Let me see now. Arguing with the chat. Hey, man, that's what I'm doing. Let me see. Observer says South Africa is the 9th largest U.S. aid recipient in the world, and from 2012 to 2021 received more than $6 billion in direct U.S. government foreign assistance. I mean, hey, I'm not a fan of foreign aid. That's not really my jam at all. A genocide would be, somebody asked me the question, a genocide would be a systemic elimination of a people. Now, 50 a year ain't gonna get it done when you got 4.5 million of them. That ain't gonna get it done, man. You gotta do better than that. Like a genocide, like that ain't. You gotta do better than that, man. Like Joburg and all, like you need to really just try to like step it up a little bit if you want to wipe them out, because it's not happening. It's not happening. Okay, let me see. All right, I'm gonna keep moving. If you like what you're hearing so far, hey, if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff to help me out tremendously. All right, let's keep moving here. What do I have? What do I want to go to? Where do I go next after that? I got one more, and then I'm gonna keep moving. All right, so this guy is a professor at University. He's a professor at Vermont. Put it to you that way. Okay, so let's watch and see what he says. He's talking about stealing right here, how it's not really a big thing because everybody steals. So why should stealing be a crime? Okay, we have a professor, again, over at Vermont. Check it out.
The business owner's argument seems to be you're feeding people who've done bad things. Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I've done bad things. And we all have.
I tell you what, though, if I go into a classroom and I see this guy in the front by the chalkboard, I'm going to just do the Homer Simpson, put my hat on the thing, wipe back out, put my hat back on, and I'm out of there. Like, I'm not, and nobody got time for that.
And they're also concerned about fucking shoplifting. Okay, first of all, what I'm not going to say in there, everybody fucking shoplifts! Everybody to talk to, it's homeless people who get caught, who get blamed for it, who get blamed for the problem. But oh my god, I teach a UVM class to 137 students about the economy, and I was asking how people get things that they don't pay for, because we're going to talk about non-market economy, and one student in front of 137 others said, I shoplift things.
Okay, yeah, I don't think we all shoplift. I'm not a shoplifter at all. Not in the least bit. I don't play that. I don't play that kind of game at all. Nah. If I want something, I buy it. Period. If I want something, I buy it. I ain't gonna steal it. I ain't gonna shoplift. That's not it. And the thing about it is, people like this, they call themselves being altruistic. They call themselves being helpful to underprivileged folks. That's what they think. But all they're gonna do is just enable crime to happen. And he is gonna live in a place where he's not gonna like it too much, because that crime will affect him at a certain point. It's going to affect him. It can't not affect you when you're living in the area. Okay. Now, speaking about crime, this is going to be St. Paul, Minnesota. Okay, right there where you had George Floyd, all of this kind of stuff. It's a nonprofit tied to the Feeding Our Future cause, and they got wrapped up in the really, 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 really big COVID scheme. A lot of money stolen. I tell you what, COVID was the biggest mistake in the history of humanity. One of them, at least. COVID was real bad. COVID was so bad, it was like equivalent to a famine. Like when Russia took over Kazakhstan and made them produce a bunch of grain and millions died, or like the Great Leap Forward. But even in the Great Leap Forward, it was a famine, but they transformed society in the way that some could see as positive. Because what happened was China went from largely agrarian, village, countryside, old school way of living to more advanced societies, factory manufacturing, becoming a true world player and an important piece of the picture. What did COVID do for us aside from just ruin the economy? Let's watch.
Chapter in the massive $250 million Feeding Our Future fraud scheme and a new raid on a St. Paul office. Lou Ragoose is here with tonight's top story.
Well, Lauren, this signals that the feds are not finished investigating new suspects in the $250 million pandemic fraud. Yesterday morning, the FBI raided the office of a nonprofit whose board of directors includes some movers and shakers in the business community. A nondescript office within a building in an industrial park on Vandalia Street in St. Paul is the home of New Vision Foundation, a nonprofit that works with disadvantaged youth by teaching coding and digital literacy. The company has even received kudos from Mayor Melvin Carter. But now, according to an unsealed search warrant, they are the latest focus for federal investigators in the $250 million Feeding Our Future meal program fraud case. An exhibit from former Feeding Our Future Executive Director Amy Bach's trial shows that they paid New Vision Foundation more than $2.5 million in taxpayer money in 2021 after New Vision claimed to serve more than 1 million meals to children. But according to the search warrant, the FBI believes meal count sheets such as these, claiming to feed more than 3,000 kids 2 meals every day, are phony. Workers at the electronics recycling site that leases New Vision the office told the feds they never saw any children there, either being served meals or otherwise. Another red flag pointed out in the search warrant, allegedly phony invoices claiming they bought their food from a supposed food service company located in Eden Prairie that actually turned out to be an apartment. Public tax filings for the nonprofit show that in 2021, the year it participated in the federal meal program, New Vision Foundation reported $3.5 million in gifts and grants, 5 times as much as the year before or after. No one from New Vision Foundation has been charged yet. This raid is the first new investigation in the Feeding Our Future case made public in more than a year. Now, the executive director of New Vision Foundation did not respond to my numerous requests for comment. I also left messages with each of the board of directors, including one who's affiliated with the St. Paul in Minnesota Foundation, but I did not hear back from any of them.
So there we go. There we go. That's where your tax money is going, stuff like that. It's a lot of that kind of stuff going on, a whole lot of fraud. And these are the kind of things, that Elon Musk was tasked with finding through Doge. That's why I love Doge so much, because they're able to get to the bottom of that kind of stuff. Because on a federal level, state level, whatever, you don't want your tax money to be wasted. You don't want it to be stolen from you. And the people that are stealing the money want to get on TV and say that it's racist, that Elon Musk is there trying to find the waste, fraud, and abuse. Of course he would say that, because that's what they do. That's what they do. Oh, one more thing before we keep on moving here. Remember the guy that attacked those 2 Jewish people, or they attacked the people at the actual Israeli embassy? I'm not quite sure if the woman was Jewish, but the guy was. Anyway, this guy right here.
Free Palestine! Free Palestine!
Elias Rodriguez. Well, he also, he's from the Party for Socialism and Liberation. And he argued that the murder of, hold on, let me just get it back on the right thing here so you can see it. He was at a different protest. Spoiler alert. Let me just put it on the screen properly. Okay. So Elias Rodriguez, the guy you just saw who shot those 2 people and killed them, unfortunately, may they rest in peace. He is from the Party for Socialism and Liberation. He argued that the murder of Laquan McDonald, remember that case back in the day? and a Chicago bid for an Amazon headquarters are not two separate issues, but rather they're both connected. So this guy was protesting the death of Laquan McDonald. And when was that? That was some years ago. I covered that story. When was that? That was 2014. Wow. Yeah. So he is basically the guy who shot people in at the embassy in DC. Whatever the current outrage, the current thing was, he's on it. You're a socialist, Democrat, donating to Joe Biden, Black Lives Matter, hands up, don't you? You get part of that. See, and these are the kind of people that come from those kind of movements. They might go out there and do something to somebody. It's all predictable, very predictable, unfortunately. So yeah, when you're looking for potential people that may want to crash out, hurt themselves, hurt other people, look at their pattern of behavior, look at what they're into, and you can kind of predict who's going to do what or who might want to do what. Government asset, hey, could be a government asset. You never know. You never know. What's a Mennonite? You talking about like the Amish? That's what they are. Basically, like a Mennonites, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, they're similar to the Amish, but they have a little bit more technology, but they live like the Amish do for the most part. And I think Mennonites are mostly in Ohio or like Midwest. Shout out to the Mennonites and the Amish. All right. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. But he's not that, though. His name is Elias Rodriguez. I think he's just an Hispanic dude from Chicago. Oh, one more. This kind of stuff right here. This kind of stuff is on TikTok, and they really, really believe it. Look at this guy. I'm not quite sure what race. I suppose white guy with one of these, Islamic struggle type of scarves. And you have a t-shirt with, I guess that's like a black Jesus or a brown Jesus. Anyway.
Take it back. I do not condemn the elimination of those two Zionist officials who worked at the Israeli embassy last night. And here's why.
We don't got to hear why. I just wanted to show you that this guy right here is a big TikTok influencer with a lot of people that follow him. So when you see people that see Free Palestine and they want to go out and do things, guys like this are going to radicalize them and inspire them to do it. And again, this is the problem with TikTok. They allow this kind of guy to get a lot of attention and to infiltrate the minds of American youth. So that's a big problem right there. All right. All right. So if you like what you're hearing so far, you know what to do. Okay. Guy Smiley says, I'm out. Defending the EFF sickens me. Where's the defense? I'm just saying it's the EFF. I'm just saying, if you have an ideal that comes from a political party, that does not represent the entire country. So again, it's just the same kind of way AOC gets on stage and says something. Bernie Sanders, guys like this get on TikTok and say something, an American that says something. So look at what he has going on. Look at what he's saying. Does that guy represent all of us? He's just an American with his own opinion. There are some who follow him on social media. That does not mean it's all of us. You cannot put his video out and say, this is you guys, this is all you guys. That's not how it works. That's just not how it works, man. You got to be able to say, okay, that's them and those people. Now, most of us are not into that. If the EFF were so popular, why is not the president? Why isn't he the president? It's the same thing over here. Okay, Kamala had a lot of supporters, but she ain't the president. Why? Because more of us appreciate what Trump is doing and what he's trying to accomplish in this country and in this world rather than Kamala. That's the beauty of having an actual country where you have choice rather than being like Chinese Communist Party where it's just one party. I think a lot of people would be happy with just having one party. So it's not a lot of guesswork going on. Anyway, let's keep rocking and rolling. We got calls to get to. The number to call, 706-406-3287. And listen, 706-406-3287. And if anybody has a disagreement, please call. We'll have a debate. I ain't going to shout at you or nothing like that. It'll be good. It'll be fun. Okay, it'll be fun. So the guy was German Israeli, the guy who lost his life. Thank you, Tessa. And the woman, was she Jewish? Okay, yeah, I'm not really sure. All right, let's get super chats right here, and where we at. Thank you to, I got a few. Thank you to Val for becoming a member, upgrading to the ABL squad. I appreciate you for that, Val. Thank you to Kai's Proximus for being a member, of course. Thank you to Applebacher Puff Daddy, who says, ABL, do you believe the FBI Director Kash Patel and FBI Assistant Director Dan Bongino, when they say Epstein did kill himself and July 13th was a solo job? I don't think they're telling no lie. I think they're telling the truth. Thank you to Apple again, who says, I don't believe them. What do ABL fans think? So do y'all think that Epstein did kill himself or he didn't? I mean, it's crazy and it sounds it's suspicious, but what solid evidence do we have that he didn't do it? I don't really think they're lying, although I think it's suspicious how the whole thing went down. Thank you to Apple again, who says, deep state threatens Trump's cabinet and judges, in my humble opinion. Thank you to HP Benin, who says, I don't believe Cash lost credit with me. Caius again says, ABO, you think the military should get a whole month? What you mean? Like as far as like a military appreciation month? Like I'm not understanding the question. I don't really care too much about these month celebrations. We got Pride Month coming up. That's the worst one. You know what? Actually, if I was the king of the United States, I would ban all the month-long celebrations. Okay, Pride Month, Black History Month, Latino Heritage Month, Jewish Heritage Month, Asian Heritage Month. I'll ban all that. I keep the holidays, Christmas, all of that. I keep all that. But the months, it's kind of cheesy to me. I've not cared about the month celebrations since I've been like a little kid. When you go to school, it's like, okay, it's Latino History Month. Bring some tacos for the class. Okay. But now as an adult, I'm like, the only one I recognize is Pride Month because they keep shoving it in my face every 5 minutes. If I happen to get desperate in the moment of boredom and turn on the TV, I'm going to see some dude's hind part shaking right in front of my face with a pride flag on. And I turn the TV right back off. And I turn it on. I'm seeing man twerking, Dylan Mulvaney, right back off. I'm good. I'm not trying to see Bruce Jenner or Dylan Mulvaney drinking the Bud Light, 6'5" with, you know what I mean? I'm not trying to see all that activity going on in front of my face. Anyway, thank you to Apu again, who says, remembering your uncle, Vietnam vet Marine for Memorial Day, and condolences ABO fans to family members died in service for defense of the USA. Right on. Thank you to Ping King 554, who says, have you heard about the allegations that against Buffalo School District, them covering up sexual assaults, attempted kidnappings, deleting evidence, and not putting safety first? I've not heard about that, but I'll check it out. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you to Apu again, who says, you think AI will rule over the world someday? It's already here. AI is already here. South Korea. Matter of fact, thank you. That's a good, because I wanted to show this video. I got a little bit of time. That's fine. I wanted to show this because South Korea, hold on. They got a serious problem. Hold on. Yeah, they got a serious problem with low birth rate, AI, all of that is already taking hold.
The view from...
Hold on, let me see if I can find it here. And if you like what you're hearing, you know what to do. But they already got AI influencers. They got all of that going on.
The Maple.
Hold on.
She popped up on South Korean Instagram in 2020. These influence realistics forward by the entertainment industry, which has always looked for any way to chase perfection and unrealistic standards. And this shift in culture is epitomized by the rise of so-called virtual influencers in South Korea.
Virtual influencer, what does that mean? AI, fake influencers, fake people.
Even with all the filters, makeup, and surgery, regular influencers and models still weren't perfect enough for marketing teams, so they just turned to completely artificial people to advertise their products. Oh Rosie was the first of these corporate creations. Permanently 21, she popped up on South Korean Instagram in 2020 to fill whatever advertising niche she was required to. The benefits for these companies were endless, as she never gets tired, never refuses a job, doesn't need training, never acts out in public, and never asks for a pay rise. Sometimes she appears on her own, other times her mathematically perfect head is stuck on the top of real human models.
See what I'm saying? It's already here. And not only AI as far as like fake influencers, fake people, but also it influences decision making and it influences people's everyday just behavior. Because I'm seeing more and more people are like, okay, some years ago when I'd be on social media having a conversation with somebody, talking to somebody, having a back and forth debate, it wouldn't be, because now what I get now, people that they be on ChatGPT, Grok, etc., giving me things from that rather than trying to piece together links and whatnot, even through a Google. They're using the AI to tell them anything, and whatever the AI says, they'll believe it. But ultimately, how can it be perfect? How can anything be perfect? This is go back to what I'm saying. You could take medical advice, okay, sure, from a doctor, but also do your own research rather than just being totally relying upon any one person or any one thing. Yeah, so this is why I was also saying earlier, work with your hands. In fake influencers, it can happen. If you just are staring in the camera, not really adding value, no personality, they can totally replace human beings. Newscasters, anything that can be done with a computer rather than human hands. Oh, AIOF is already here. Listen, they already have chatbots. Go to your Instagram page and they have the Meta AI already in your app. And they got chatbots you could talk to. They'll send you DMs, all that kind of stuff. And they'll send you DMs based upon kind of what you want to hear. Okay, they got one little chatbot. It's like some kind of Japanese schoolgirl. It looks too young to me. I don't know what's going on with that, but you could DM her. You go on OnlyFans and they have, you guys are DMing these women. You're not DMing no women. You DMing at best a man who's managing that account, or at worst, you DMing the whole bot, a robot, AI, completely. You're not talking to a human being. This is kind of like the human machine interface, and which is why it took me so long to get a full phone. I saw it coming. I knew when this came about that it'll only be a matter of time before you and I merge with this. So I try to stay grounded as much as possible. I try to stay grounded. I like going outside. I like being in nature, hikes, all of that kind of stuff. Eating organic food. You got to stay as grounded and as organic as possible. All right. But I don't want to be too much of a doomer. I don't think all is lost. You know, the good part about this, I think people, especially the kids, are starting to go outside and play more. They don't really like all the technology all the time. Not all of them do. They want to go outside and play. They want to live a little bit differently. So I have hope for the future. But for right now, we got a lot of problems going on. All right. Thank you to Apple again, who says, you think AI will rule over the world someday? Yes. But not anytime quite soon. Apple again says, R.I.P. Val Kilmer. Favorite Val Kilmer movie, Batman Forever, Doors, Tombstone, Heat, Top Gun, Top Secret, Thunderheart, Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Batman Forever, of course. I've not seen any of those other movies. I've not seen Tombstone. I ain't seen none of that. Thank you to Rose Readings, who says, do you consider Amazing Lucas as black? Do you like him? Is he black? I don't know. I guess he's black. I don't see why I wouldn't consider him black. What I would say about like California black guys is that it's just a little bit different because they did not grow up around us in Southern black culture, which is the Mecca. Like Southern black Americans, that's the Mecca. So if you were living like somewhere far away, California, left coast, you're going to be different. That's all. But I've not watched his content. Last time I saw, I wasn't really a big fan. But shout out to him. Thank you to Devin, who says, can we get some Transformers in the WNBA? That's next. Hey, that's next. Never seen Top Gun. Nope, never seen Top Gun. Nope. Thank you to Tony B, who says, hi, Anthony. You fell off my YouTube feed for months. I wonder what was up. Hope all was well. Thank you for that. Thank you to the Whites Man for gifting 10 ABL memberships. I appreciate you for that, boss. Thank you to Kiwan Lynette, who says ABL look up Dragon Tiny Homes Genesis. It's like 120 square foot. That's my dream tiny house. $40,000. Okay. 120 square foot, 40 bands. Hold on. Dragon Tiny Homes. All right, I'm gonna look it up right quick and I keep on moving. Dragon Tiny Homes. Okay. Yeah. Hold on. It's kind of short.
That's the chemis you've seen before. We got the same windows, same layout. This is the same 20-foot trailer, 20 feet by 8.5. Nice middle size. And we originally built these for a lot of people that are doing Airbnb, so really with short-term rentals in mind. But now we've getting feedback from our customers that more people are wanting to do a little bit more mid-term rentals. So let's say 1 month or.
I mean, that wouldn't be that bad if I could put it on the foundation and kind of secure it a little bit. That wouldn't be that bad, but that might be a tad bit too small. If you can make it work, though, Kiwan, that's fine. Like if I was traveling on the road and I could just hook it up to my truck, yeah, that'd be fine. Oh yeah. Yeah, I could do with that. I could do with that. And you know, matter of fact, I would like something like that. If I had property, like a bigger property, like over like an acre or more, that could be a good man cave, guest house, something like that. Or like my man said, like an Airbnb. Yeah, all day long. Have a separate entrance, separate door, Airbnb that, put it on a slab foundation, hook it up to water, put a heater, AC in there, you get money. And it's only $40,000, so if it gets damaged in a hurricane or something, that's why I say it need to be on the foundation to kind of moor it, secure it, make sure it doesn't fly away. Yeah, got to be in a good location. Exactly. Got to be in a good location. That's the key to it. But thank you for that, Keyboard. That's a pretty good one. I'm gonna look into that. I might do that in the future. Thank you to Humongous Shift, who says, "Love your show, ABL. Intelligent humor in a nutso world, and always a great attitude. Thumbs up. Prayer." Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Kaius Posthumous, who says, "ABL, what's your take on caregivers, IHSS providers?" I'm not really sure. That's kind of a broad question. I'm not really sure. But as far as the nursing industry, that's a good industry to get in. But I'm not quite sure what your question is referred to specifically. Thank you to Sneaks, who says, "My wife and I love your channel. You have the best commentary. I'm also from West Virginia, born and raised. We want to move to Eastern Tennessee, though. God bless." Hey, come on down. It's just like West Virginia. It's just like here. My aunt came here she born and raised West Virginia. Live there right now. And she said it was just like home. Straight Canal County. It's the same. It's the same mountains. So come on down. You'll like it. Anywhere East Tennessee, you could go up closer to like 81, like Bristol, or come on down Knoxville, maybe even up in the mountains. I don't know about Gatlinburg. There might be some Californians up there. All I would tell you is avoid the Californians. Avoid them and you'll be just fine. So Knoxville, Bristol, Johnson City, Kingsport, down in Chattanooga, all of that. Even like a Cleveland, Tennessee, which is like a Chattanooga exurb, I guess you would say, is nice. Low cost of living, low crime, beautiful up there. You like it. Thank you to Mauricio91, who says, I can't hear none of this until we talk about the Uyghurs, Muslims, and communist China. Let's keep that energy. Oh, I forget, there's no money in that. Well, hey, I mentioned the Uyghurs, how they got them in the camps in China. I mentioned that. I did videos on that. All right. But some don't really care about that. Thank you to Trump and JD Vance, who says ABL is saying white farmers aren't getting singled out and murdered any more than black farmers, which make up maybe 5% of all the farmers in South Africa. Nah, that's not what I'm saying at all. I didn't say that. You just heard something that you wanted to hear. What I said is that the targeting of white farmers is not necessarily about race, because there's a lot of armed robberies that happen on farms, and both blacks and whites are affected. Plus, this is part of a larger issue with crime in general. if most of the crimes are armed robberies, and a lot of armed robberies happen all over the country to the point where you have 27,500 murders. Listen, in America, we have how many murders per year? Like 19,000? How many murders in the USA? Let's say 2023. So in 2023, there were 19,200 cases of murder in the USA. Our population is at least 325 million. South Africa is 65 million people, and they have more murders than us. Way more, not even close. That's the problem. That is the problem, is the out of control crime that affects everybody in the country. It's so simple. Thank you to was it L King 288? Yes, shout out to ODU. Shout out to ODU. Thank you to Jonas Blaine II, who says, how do you feel? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna read this properly. And you know what? This is a good question. I'm gonna read it, Jonas, but I'm gonna answer it in a more complete fashion on my other channel, Uncle ABL. And if you guys are not subscribed to Uncle ABL, please do so. I talk about a lot of cultural things that is not really, it wouldn't make sense over here. I'll talk about it over there on that channel. So if you're not interested in rappers and Bill Belichick and his girlfriend and stuff like that, don't worry about it. That'll be over there. But anyway, his question is, how do you feel about pro-black Ryan Clark criticizing RG3 for having white wives and not understanding black women when Ryan Clark had a child with a white woman? You know what? This is a very good question. I'm going to answer it. And you know what? What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a visual aid here. Okay, I'm going to give you a visual aid. Ryan Clark wants to criticize RG3 for being married to a white woman, essentially. That's really what it boils down to. But Ryan Clark has a white baby mama. It's like, at least he got married to his white woman. Now, listen, I'm going to show you a picture, and then I'm going to kind of make it make sense for you. And I don't want nobody to get offended. I'm not trying to say anything other than just being totally real. And for those of y'all who know, you know. So look, this is Ryan Clark in his younger days with his biracial baby. Cute baby, shout out to her. But you know what I see in Ryan Clark? What I see is a black kid who probably grew up with mostly white kids. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing at all. But I can tell you got on the silver chain, a zip down polo. I already kind of know what's going on. So with these kind of guys, what happens is they kind of get that tragic mulatto effect. They feel like they're not really black enough. So they overcompensate. Colin Kaepernick was a prime example. That's Ryan Clark. Colin Kaepernick, his issue was he grew up with a white family, although he's biracial. His problem is he grew up mostly around white people, although he's black. So he always feels kind of different, not really part of them totally, and also not really black. So now you got to overcompensate and try to criticize others for not being black enough, because that's what you feel on the inside. You don't feel black enough. You don't know the black experience. So you got that black wife who's your mama, basically. Hold on. Matter of fact, I got to show the wife, because he brought out wife and kids. So I'm going to show his wife, and then it'll make sense. It'll make total sense. And then that's also why he said what he said about another man's wife. Okay, so that's his wife. Okay? What I see when I see that, it's like kind of like mama energy, somebody to educate him about being black. I can guarantee you what happened with the whole Caitlin Clark thing. He goes on a rant talking about the next man's wife. She is telling him that RG3 does not understand what it means to be black and black issues and being a black woman because his wife is white. So his wife told him that. He go on TV and say it and repeat it. He doesn't understand, because he did not grow up with us, that you violated a rule. You don't talk about a man's wife and kids. But he doesn't understand these things. So when there's a conflict that he thinks makes sense in his mind, he reacts, but we see it as he's a moron. He just does not understand how to really, again, you're just missing some things and you want to project upon others. That's all. But I'm gonna explain that thing in the whole video. And again, I'm not trying to say that, I'm not trying to attack him for not being black enough, but I'm just saying what he's feeling on the inside. Is I know guys like him. I went to school with guys like him. Guys that were black, but they were white for real. You understand what I'm saying? That's all. Anyway, I'm going to get to that. But we got calls to get to. The number to call, 706-406-3287. Again, 706-406-3287. Yeah, that pink suit and the jacket and the pink suit and the shirt with no tie is crazy. But that was probably his wife's idea. Okay? That's probably his wife's idea. Okay? Yeah. So you got to get your fashion together. You had a zip down polo with a silver wrist. You know, guys like that I would see in school. And they wouldn't really talk to you like that because they don't understand how to communicate. It's just, he has some deep-seated problems internally. I digress. Let's get to some calls. Again, I'll talk about that more on Uncle ABL. All right, let's go ahead and get rocking. You agree with Purple Rose? Purple Rose, you know what's up. You know all the way what's up. I'm speaking to 573 on the line.
Anthony.
Yes, indeed.
ABL?
Yes, it's me.
Anthony Brian Logan. It's JoJo, man. I haven't talked to you in quite a while.
All righty, man. What's going on?
The politician's motto, the poem. Listen, man, I wrote a poem in the last couple days, and I want to recite it. You want to hear it?
Go for it.
All right, man. It's called Thank God for Donald J. Trump. What in this world have the Democrats done? Made a mess of our country at the expense of everyone who is a citizen of our great USA, not illegals who don't have to pay. They've opened our borders, let our enemies in, with the hopes of getting more votes for them. They've made a mockery of women's sports by letting dudes play in real tight shorts. They've risked the safety of all who abide by the laws of our country and legally reside. I could go on about the Democrats' mess, but it would just get worse, as you might guess. So I'll brighten this poem with sunshine and faith that Donald J. Trump will save the day. He's already made history in his first 100 days as the 47th president of our great USA. He's taken the bulls by their devastating horns, not afraid of the establishment's thorns, thorns that will bind us and keep us at bay, making certain we have nothing to say. He's secured our border and is ousting the hoods, something the Democrats never would. He's changed world commerce with his trip to Middle East, another thing Dems couldn't do in the least. So what in this world have the Democrats done but lied to our people and betrayed everyone? One thing's for certain, and most can attest, if those bullets didn't miss, our country would be effed. How you like that, baby? Is that good?
Very good,
Is that
man.
Good.
Very good. Loved it.
Hey, bro. God bless you, all of your followers, all people, man. God bless y'all. Peace and love. And you got it, man.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, man.
All righty. I was trying to find some poetry snaps, but I couldn't find it in time. I think that was the audio from the Tiny House video. So yeah, shout out to my man for the impromptu Saturday night ABL poetry jam. 804, you're online. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, ABL. My name is Byron Halano. I haven't talked to you in a while. The last caller with the poem, he was on point. How are you tonight?
Oh, well, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm really good. ABL, I know you didn't talk about it, but a lot of lies have been talked about the tariffs, right? That's been imposed by President Trump. Have you seen what is up with shipping with Sal Macagliano as far as education about the tariffs?
I didn't quite hear you. You said, what about, you said it's an education?
The tariffs.
Oh.
So the tariffs, there's a lot of lies about the tariffs from China against the United States is levying tariffs on China, right? And Sal Macagliano talks about the tariffs, and the tariffs that Trump is implementing is actually on point. I don't think the tariffs are actually, as far as Trump is implementing, bad. What do you think?
I think it's a good thing. I think it's a great thing because we're getting ripped off by these foreign nations, and it's like, for what? So I think we need to have more production and more productivity here, rather than allowing the entire world to make everything for us. Because if we relying upon them too much, that's going to also be a national security risk as well as economically not beneficial for us.
I agree. And Trump is actually ramping up U.S. Actually shipbuilding in the U.S. And I think that's really important because with China leads the ship production, South Korea, and Japan, and the United States is like eighth in actual shipbuilding, and that's bad. And that includes both maritime and U.S. Navy shipbuilding. And we cannot compete against China, who has been building a lot more warships than the United States. ABL, I'm going to hang up, but I really appreciate your program. And ABL, God bless you, and God bless the United States. You make a commentary, but I'm going to hang up. You have a good night, sir.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
All right. Shout out to the caller. I'm speaking to you online, 917.
Yes, Mr. ABL, how are you?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Yeah, I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay. I can't complain. Now, listen, really quick, sir. Number one, I've been watching you for years. Years, and years. You're fantastic. What you've done to the internet, you changed everything. However, my main point is one of your moderators, Miss Sheree, it's her birthday. And I've been shouting her out all night long with her birthday. And I just want to know if we can give Miss Sheree a happy birthday.
Right on. So what are we going to do? We going to sing? Are we going to sing it? Or are we going to say happy birthday?
Whatever you want to do. You want to sing? I'll sing with you.
Kick it off for me. Go ahead.
All right, my man. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sheree. Happy birthday to you.
How old are you now?
Okay, you can't do that.
I just I wanted her to enjoy her birthday. It only comes once a year. And, sir, by the way, it was my pleasure, completely my pleasure to speak to you. Like I said previously, I've been in your chat for years and years and years.
Well, thank you for your call. I appreciate your support, man. I really, really do. Thank you. It means a lot to me.
Sir, you're very welcome. I've been in your chat since before 2020. Thank you very much for taking my phone call, and I hope I get to speak to you again soon.
Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
All right. Great call. And again, happy birthday, Sheree. You are appreciated in this chat. Shout out to you. 513, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, it's Shelly. How you doing? This is interesting. I wanted to call about college and my theory on there's too many jobs instead of not enough workers. But I think I kind of want to jump on the race thing.
Okay.
Okay. I'm 45 years old. I'm a college-educated high school dropout. I have a son whose father's black, okay? So from the conservative side, I get, that rhetoric, right? But then from the left, I'm called like a Trumpster, right? Mm-hmm. I think that really race is not as much of an issue as people want it to be. My generation grew up with races mixing together. There are places where the races aren't mixing together so much. But when you grow up and you're on the same sports teams, on the same bus, listening to the same music, going to the same school, I'll tell it's not really a big deal. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not like this thing that's dividing the nation and we can't get along and people are just getting, murder in the street. It's not that way. Especially like out here where I live. Like, I have a really diverse neighborhood. Okay, I got white neighbors, I got black neighbors, I got neighbors from India, I got neighbors from Hispanic countries, I got Asians, I got a little bit of everything, and we all get along. The most important thing is the people. How do people get along with each other? The content and your character, that's the main thing.
Well, it's kind of ironic out in the suburbs. There's more foreigners than there is in the city in a way. Like, I'm in the city, I've told you that before. But you really get it from certain generations. It's the older black people and the black women. Those are the problem ones, and that's why I think they put black people in power, right? County commissioners, mayors, city council, because you can't say anything about them. I've been involved in local politics, for years, and I take so much crap because I don't care if he's Indian. I don't care if he's black. And they want to call me racist if I call him out. So they're getting away with the crime, the fraud, the waste, and the corruption because you can't call them out. But I don't want to take it to the other extreme where you just hate somebody because they're black, right? Don't hate me because I have a black child, right? Don't look at me and act like I'm a lefty because my child's black. I'm still a conservative. That's not healthy either. We don't want to go to the other extreme. A lot of these people are victims. They're victims, right? Like, isn't it a sad mentality to where you live your life to where everything's race? That's sad.
Yeah, it's really crazy, but I don't really like my regular everyday life is not really affected. I see there's people that just don't understand everybody, but I don't really concern myself with that. I like to be around those who are just elevated and think differently, regardless of what color they are. That's how I look at it.
Well, it's black women are the people that like to start.
No. Let's not. Because no. Let's do this. First of all, what part of the country are you in?
I'm in Ohio.
Okay, Columbus.
Cincinnati.
Okay, you're dealing with a place where people. You're not dealing with like metropolitan big city New York. You're dealing with people that probably been there for a long time. So it's a little bit different.
Yes, no. White flight's a problem, but at the same time, like, I've been here 6 generations. My great-great-grandma and my great-great-grandpa lived in Bucktown, which is a historical, like, black ghetto, right? So for me, I don't feel it the way other people feel it.
My point is that people been there for a long time. They've not really been able to see beyond that. So they probably been in Cincinnati for forever during a time where it wasn't quite too good for them, and they've not really been able to really get beyond that mentally. Now, other parts of the country, they're not there. Like, come down here where I'm at in Atlanta, it's Wakanda. You got black women doing really good things out here, but they've been able to elevate and get beyond that place, that dark place they were at a certain point in history.
Right, and those people have moved out to the suburbs. So we have white flight, then you have black flight. So those people have a different mentality. It's like it's more of a class thing than a race thing today.
Exactly. So when you say black women, let's not do that. Let's just say a certain class of people are going to behave a certain way.
No, black women. They're the only people that start fighting.
No, because you just said it's about class. Now you're saying it's about black women. So which one is it?
Well, it is. Well, I'm just saying in general, it's more of a class thing than a race thing, so right? But there's a race component to where you have the black women mentality to where, like you were saying, the lady in the pink suit or whatever.
I got a question. Do you face issues from black women when you go out with your you still with the husband, the black man?
No, my son's 18 years old. I'm not with his dad. But yeah, no, just in general, they weren't cutting
But
front of me in line.
do you face issues when you with your son, biracial?
Not really online more so than in real life. I mean, you know.
Okay. But thank you for your call. We've been on for a while. I appreciate you for your call. Thank you for your call. All right. Hey, I guess you don't like black women too much. I like black women, but you just got to be around the right people, because if you're around like hood rats and stuff like this, yeah, you're not gonna like them. Just like if you're around people like your white liberals, you're not gonna like them either. But that don't mean that that's all white people. My kind of whites that I like, give me a good old country, what they call redneck, something like that. Somebody who is more like me socially. They come from my kind of place. West Virginia, some of them out there, most of them out there, the best. Virginia, where I'm at right now, East Tennessee, Appalachian people, the best. However, if you go to a faraway place in West Virginia where they don't see anybody except for the same 5 people and they got 2 teeth in their mouth, they're not going to like you too much because they have no experience with you at all. All they know is they're hollered for the past 3 generations with the same 10 people. Their cousin is their sister, that type of thing, in a really far away, isolated place. But if you're right there, Canal County, Teaves Valley, all of that, you straight. You straight. So it all depends on where you are, who you're interacting with, and the class of the people. I don't want to be around no people that like to smoke fentanyl, crack, weed, all on my face. I don't care what color they are. And in most places you're able to go on that side of town, is a certain kind of person that lives there. Over here, it's another kind of person. Over here, black, white, Asian, whatever, people are doing the right thing. Over there, I don't go over there. Anyway, let's go to some more. Let's go to 910. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is my name is David. So I just want to say that the whole thing about South Africa, right? You're 100% correct. It's not a genocide. The first time Trump was in office was when the numbers spiked the most for the white farmer killings. And in 2023, on December 29th, 2023, South Africa brought a case in the International Court of Justice against Israel, accusing them of a genocide in Gaza. And I believe that's the only reason why Trump is now accusing South Africa of a genocide, because, you know, like we have a big like alliance with Israel, right? And so South Africa has like been the biggest country that's accused Israel of a genocide. So, you know, that's why I believe that Trump is accusing South Africa of a genocide now. And yeah, I just wanted to say that, and I want to have your take on that. But otherwise, good show.
Thank you for the call, man. All right, you don't go. But yeah, I mean, I've heard that, but I don't know if I really believe that. I think the reason why he's bringing it up right now is because of Elon. Elon being right in his ear. Now, I like Elon. I like what he does. But as I said before, I don't think he should have so much influence on what happens with the country, or so much influence on what Trump may do. But I like what he does. I like Elon a lot. So don't get that twisted. I like everything he does. But sometimes people are wrong and they give you wrong information. That's all. But I have heard the whole thing about Israel. I don't think that's really the case. I think it's more about just he's hearing from Elon because Elon's South African and he's right in his ear. 803, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Bernard.
All righty, what's going on?
No, boy, how you doing?
Everything good, man.
Outstanding. Happy Memorial Day to you and everybody.
Right on, man. Same to you.
All right. I've been jumping in and out of the live because I'm getting in and out of my truck doing errands and stuff like that. What's the hot topic for this week?
It's whatever's on your mind.
Have you seen on social media within the past couple of hours it broke that they charged Carmelo Anthony as an adult?
Yeah, I saw that.
All right. Yeah, I thought the grand jury had already indicted him.
Yeah, I don't know where that news came from. I thought that was already a thing that was done. So Yeah, I mean, that's not really a surprise to me either way that he's charged as an adult because he's 17. In Virginia, you could be charged as an adult at age 14. So to me, that was no surprise.
Yeah, my my daughter, she's going into her senior year in high school when she turned 17, and I've been emphasizing this point to her, like a lot of stuff that you do, you got to cut a lot of that stuff out, because if fisticuffs start happening, or if you get into some kind of situation hanging out with your friends, you going to big boy jail or big girl jail. Orange is the new black, and there ain't nothing I can do to save you.
Exactly.
So I've been hammering that inside her head till she turned 17.
I mean, you right on point. Like, I knew that. Like, I remember being in high school. We had talks like that in school, because I knew guys that were getting locked up in high school. My best friend got locked up when I was in high school. I think I was 16. My best friend got locked up and did 6 years while I was in high school.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was hearing about that. Sometimes I'll be in class, and they would call certain guys down to the office who had been involved in some actual criminal activity, and the police would come and get them and take them and arrest them straight from actual class. Okay, I'm 16 years old, 11th grade, and somebody in my homeroom class is getting arrested for something outside of school. So to me, that's like just a thing that I already knew. If I'm acting up right now as a high schooler, I can go to prison with the adults.
Yeah, I can tell you this, between their mother and I, we've done a fairly decent job. Are they perfect? No. But when we walk into a store, we know they ain't going to stick nothing inside their pockets. They're very respectful towards the adults that they're around, right? Her and her sister, my other daughter, they don't show their behind in public. So, I mean, you really can't ask for much more than that as a parent.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. So, their mother, she's carried a lot more of the burden since we split. But, I've done what I can in the meantime to try to help out as much as I can, much as I possibly can.
Right on. Absolutely.
Yeah. And there's can I tell you an interesting ABL story?
Go ahead.
All right. So there was a young lady who I had met on, I was chatting on Greg Foreman's channel, Black Conservative Perspective, and we exchanged messages, right? And she found me on Instagram, and we've been chatting ever since. And her favorite commentator is ABL.
Right on, man.
Yeah. So,
hey, I love it.
But yeah. Yep. But that was it. That Carmelo Anthony thing threw me off for a loop. So I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't seeing things.
Oh yeah, no, that's real, 100%.
And you do this every Saturday night, right?
Yep, Wednesday and Saturday I'm here.
All right. Well, Wednesdays I can't do because I was born good looking instead of being born rich, so I got to work for a living. So, but yeah, I'll be checking in on Saturday.
Well, thank you for your call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yep. You have a good weekend.
All right,
Happy Memorial Day to everybody.
Right on, man. Same to you.
All right.
All right. Shout out to the caller. But yeah, hey man, that's a good connection. I got the ABL connection right on point. Right on point. And I saw that Sheree's birthday is not today. Hey, my man got me to sing for no reason, but it's all good. Hey, so I gave you an early birthday song, so it's all good. Let's go 843. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Anthony, this is Tyler. Hey, buddy.
Hey, man, what's going on?
Hey, great show. Hey, couple topics. One is kind of like this whole black fatigue, just the word black fatigue. It's kind of just been hijacked. It's really just ratchet fatigue. I wish people kind of quit saying, I mean, I'm a redneck, and I wish people quit saying it because I don't be having problems with black folks. I travel all around from Ohio. I stay in Ohio most of the time. I work all over the country. And for real, you really don't run into the bonnet crew or little shoot 'em up and all them. Like, for the most part, you just encounter people like me and you. along the way. And this black fatigue has kind of gotten out of control because, like, too many people are just getting loose with, you know what I mean? Like, for white people, like, we don't have to do this. We don't have a get back. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. And I think that a lot of it, first of all, you got TikTok promoting it. And that's part of the reason why they wanted to get TikTok out the way, because they knew that certain little social trends like this could be pushed on that platform because they don't really care about our society like that. If there's unrest or anything, they don't really care. And also you got influencers just wanting to make some money. They're not even really, because I watch some of the videos and the content is so empty and shallow. It's not really much there. They're just showing videos with no real context. And it's just like people are taking it too far and just saying pretty much anything to get attention on social media, in my humble opinion.
Well said. I agree. Like I said, I'm 51-year-old redneck, and I remember when, you know, this just wasn't even a thing in the 90s and 80s. And like, so like with that girl, she's 46, you know, and I know how it is in Cincinnati, you know, and what she's saying is, you know, she's down there in the hood. But that's the thing, you know, the white and the black people and everyone in between that don't want to be around ratchetness tend to move to the burbs, where ratchetness tends to be less. It's nothing to do with color, because I have, if that's such a thing, I got like Billy Bob fatigue and little Jimmy and all these little neck tattooed white boys that walk around. That's who I have problems with. That's who I don't trust. That's who breaks in cars and steals and walks up and down the streets with fentanyl in Ohio. That's the problem. So, I mean, people just got to pull this back in and just realize they're kind of going down the same thing that the BLM crowd fell for. They're getting a battery pack on their back and just running with it.
Exact same thing.
It's the same thing I said. Sad to see.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's the exact same thing. It's just like the whole thing, like George Floyd, all of that. I'm seeing the exact same kind of thing happen now, just with people that call themselves conservative. It's really strange to see.
Yeah, you and I spoke about this years ago when I was in South Carolina, like just the whole poking the bear from the other direction. And so I was just telling people there was no reason to poke the bear, but eventually you'll make a racist, you'll make just a regular old, you know, normie into a racist or feel emboldened to say these things. And you know what I mean? We're just, as conservatives together collectively and just as people, man, in America, we gotta be good, you know. We gotta do good. And if we're supposed to lead the way as conservatives, you know, we gotta treat people, you know, we all know who they're talking about. I just don't feel like we gotta say it as much or talk about it, you know.
Right.
But for the most part, most of these white people, they don't even deal with black folks. Or like your amazing Lucases, weirdos like that. Like you said, they don't even know what it's like to be around Southern black guys, so you don't know nothing.
Exactly.
You know, in my opinion.
Right.
But, you know. But well said, Anthony. And like I said, that's just why I always go to your show and so many people follow you and like you, because you call it down the line. And some people don't always agree, like, you know, but one thing they can't say is you're not honest. And we appreciate that, brother.
Thank you, man. Really appreciate you.
Yeah, man. All right, ABL. But good show, man.
All right, now. Thank you for the call. Appreciate
you. All right, bro. You take care. All right.
All right. Great call. Great call. Shout out to my man Tyler for the call. Fantastic. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're not running into the bonnet crew. Listen, like, hood people, I don't deal with at all. And I don't care what color you are. Hood people, no. You know, and, you know, I think some people don't really understand that. They don't understand that concept of hood people, ratchet ghetto, and that could be black, white, Puerto Rican, and Candy Stripe. Okay, white guys with the fentanyl, black guys with the fentanyl. Yeah, I don't go over there to that particular part of town. That's not what I come from that, and I work very hard to not be part of that no more. Yeah, I used to hate being in the hood when I was out there. I used to hate the environment. Hate it. Yeah, and it had nothing to do with color, because you had the occasional white guy in the hood, and they're just the same as anybody else because of the environment that you're in. Now, once I leave that environment and I go to a more suburb place, then it becomes better. And when I was younger, like, I came to the suburb area, like by Greenbrier Mall, Bob. I came out there when I was like 14, high school time. And in my neighborhood, we had white, we had black, we had Hispanic, we had everything. and we all got along, because once you are starting to kind of climb up the ladder and become better, your parents are working, your parents are doing well for themselves, you start to live in a better place where people are like-minded, regardless of what the color is. And now where I live, I have no problems. I got neighbors of all colors. I got black, white. I got Indian specifically. A lot of Indian people here. A lot of them. Can I say something else that's on right here? A lot of your foreign-born population are starting to become more and more prevalent in middle-class areas because they are really embodying the American dream. They starting businesses. It don't matter what it is. Okay, you might got a liquor store, gas station. So what? You still have a business and you're still able to make money. And your kids are going to be going to Harvard. They're going to be going to Yale, and they'll make $500,000 a year as a software engineer, as we saw earlier, the Asian kid. Okay, you see the Asian boy grow up in the restaurant from the time he's 5 years old, so you get to be 18. He go to college and move to Atlanta, software engineer. He done made it in one generation. All this stuff about black, white, or whatever is so stupid. It's so low class. It's so low brow. The same kind of way that a lot of these TikTok videos give you brain rot TikTok videos. If I show a TikTok video here, I try to give you some kind of intellectual content behind it. If I do a short video, I want to educate you in that short video. I don't want to just be on my camera just looking at it like, give you some kind of dumb facial expression, empty content, play a video, and I don't say nothing. I don't do that. So yeah, shout out to you guys. I know y'all appreciate kind of where I'm coming from. That's why you guys are subscribed. And if you like what you heard tonight, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Alrighty, I got super chats on deck. I'll read those right quick. Then I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. But before I do, shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Y'all know I couldn't do it without you. Thank you to the mods for keeping the trolls in check. I appreciate y'all for that as well. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platforms, whether they be Google Play, Spotify, Apple iTunes, etc. Link for that will be in the description. Or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Also, I'm available on the Rumbles. Go to Rumble. I do have a page on there with all the YouTube content. If you want to watch it on Rumble, check me out there. Subscribe to me there. I am there. Also, please subscribe to Uncle ABL, the new-ish channel. I have social things over there. I'm going to talk about Ryan Clark. I'm going to talk about Papoose. I'm going to talk about Bill Belichick and this young pretty lady, how she got banned from UNC. Haters. Hey, Bill Belichick, bro, I ain't going to start singing Foo Fighters, but you're my hero for sure. Shout out Bill Belichick. I'm going to cover those kind of stories over there. Okay. And I might cover some of this AI stuff, AI boyfriends, AI girlfriends, chatbots. I might cover that over there as well. But all of that, again, Uncle ABL, we just passed 20,000 subs. I'm trying to get to 100,000 by the end of the year. And I also have an Uncle ABL Instagram page and Facebook page. So it's going to be a full-on blitz. And if you guys don't know, I knew Kevin Samuels. He was my friend. And we all helped him get started with O'Shea Duke Jackson. So I come from that same kind of tree. So you're going to see a lot more from me. Yeah, I get unleashed. Hey, I ain't even get unleashed all the way. What's that? Tickets? I ain't even get unleashed all the way on Uncle ABL. Yeah, it's about to get really unleashed because a lot of guys need to hear it. I'm seeing so much bad advice about relationships and men and women. So many things that are just wrong, incorrect. So I'm gonna give my 2 cents over there. Alrighty. Shout out to Kevin who says, I just watched a BCP video where he reacted to a comment you made on something you said. I commented that I need to show you some support. What was the comment? What was the comment? Thank you to Kevin again who says, Sheree, oh, bro, like it's not our birthday anyway. And thank you for gifting Kevin 5 ABL memberships. I appreciate you for that. Pardon me. And thank you to Jaleesa who says, love you ABL and fam, just been going through some stuff. Well, hopefully Jaleesa, everything will be okay. Sending you much love all the way from Tennessee. All right. And yes, absolutely. Long live Kevin Samuels. Hey, Kyrie. Hey, I might not pop out with the young ceremony, but I might not pop out. But hey, if you see me in the street, you're going to see me in the street. Andrew Tate, nah. I ain't going to be Andrew Tate. I am the uncle. I am the dad that'll tell you about certain things. That's me. I don't got no Bugatti. I'm not trying to be flashy and all that kind of stuff. I'm just a guy with real information from life experience, from everything. Alrighty. Did I get everybody that I wanted to get? I think I did. So that'll pretty much be a wrap for me. I will see y'all again live on Wednesday. Actually, no, I'm lying. I'll see y'all again on Tuesday on Instagram Live. If you have Instagram, check me out on Instagram. I think we're going to do 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. 9 p.m. Eastern on Instagram. I'll be live probably about an hour and a half on my phone. And it's different. I'll be in my kitchen standing up. It's a much different situation. It'll be more of a intimate type of conversation, smaller crowd. But a lot of you guys really enjoy those. So I'm going to keep on doing them. And after the IG Live is over, I'll put it on Instagram. Maybe Facebook as well. I might do that same kind of stream on Facebook as well. We'll see. But for right now, Tuesday, Instagram, 9 p.m. Wednesday, right back here, 8 p.m. And Saturday again, right back here. But also, I'm putting out videos on my regular channel and Uncle ABL. So that'll be a wrap for me. Until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out and peace.